Hello everybody. Hello Renji and Burpee and Avelian and Kano and Elwick. Hello, how's it going? Happy Monday. Hololive Polycule visual novel? Yes. Bloodquill, the ship between Nerissa Ravencroft, Shiori novella, and Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame. I'm going to introduce the game a little bit. Ari, hi, hello, welcome on in. So, this is a fan-made romance mystery visual novel. I actually do not know if it's pronounced Paramnesis or Paramnesis. I want to say it's Nesis. Paramnesis. I probably should have asked. So some of my friends worked on this game, which is one of the reasons I wanted to stream it. I wanted to promote their demo a little bit. Hi Marquez, welcome on in. If you're interested, so if you're on YouTube, it is in the description. All of the links to where you can play the game, the dev Twitter, all of the individual Twitters. And if you're on Twitch, it's the pinned comment. So it'll have where you can get the game and the dev Twitter. So definitely go check them out. This is, as you can see, a demo preview. So there will be some missing assets, placeholder assets, things that'll change between now and the finished product. So definitely support them because they're doing a really cool thing. I think it's super cool. I've kind of been watching this project from the shadows since they started posting about it. I also wanted to read some of the excerpts from their website just to give you an idea of what's going on. So I know this is an alternate universe. So this is the game description. An anomaly of the consciousness. I couldn't say that word. Let me start over. I can read, I promise. As we're about to play a visual novel. An anomaly of the consciousness plagues the city of Inksmouth. The memories of the citizens have begun to clash en masse, as if an epidemic had broken out that affects the mind and its recollection. Phantom memories of people, places, events. The reach of the mass recollective dissonance stretches across it all, and despite any confidence one might have on their grasp of the truth, no one can track a pattern down. Independent private eye Shiori Novella had been quietly observing the spread of the phenomenon until a letter arrived on her desk, sealed with a blue wax stamp. A formal request to join the senior investigator, Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, in the pursuit of the case of the phantom memories. Ever down on her luck and desperate for a big break, Shiori agrees, but it's not quite open and shut with her arrival. The emerging chemistry between her and Liz aren't enough to unravel the sprawling tangle of the recollective dissonance. And it's not much simpler when the prime suspect in the public eye and the police precincts is the rising star Nerissa Ravencroft, someone Shiori had known personally and cut off years ago. Amidst all this, she can't help but feel that her dreams of figures distinctly resembling these arrivals and re-arrivals in her life might be connected to the mystery. But those visions and reality paint pictures that contrast each other with an almost sickening starkness. As the investigation goes on, she can't help but wonder, are they just dreams or portents? I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, maybe not. Never mind, it left me. Could it be their edge in the case, or will pursuing it only lead to a dead end? And can she weather all this when these two make her heart jump and her spirit sing, as much as they make her stomach tie itself in knots? The romance, the mystery, the intrigue. I'm gonna go crazy. I know it's just a demo today, so I'm not gonna be fully sated, but I'm gonna go crazy. I'm so excited. Bless you, I didn't sneeze, unfortunately. I wish I did, because now I just feel that tickle in my nose. And then there's descriptions for the main characters. I probably could have put this on screen. Here, let me drag this. There's nothing incriminating here, right? I don't think so. Okay. So, Shiori, the proprietor of a small private investigative agency, Shiori Novella makes her living solving cases troubling the locals in the city of Inksmouth. Recently, she's been haunted by strange visions in her sleep, feathers fading from charcoal black to a soft, inviting blue. The glint of a blade's scarlet sheen embedding a deep sense of dread in her chest. When an envelope appears on her desk inviting her to a formal investigation of Inksmouth's grandest mystery yet, Shiori's instincts tell her that there may be more to it all. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame is a renowned senior investigator residing in New Exardia City and has always strived to be a worthy heir to the Blood Flame investigative agency. When a paranormal phenomenon casts a shadow across the minds of the citizens in the city of Inksmouth, Liz is assigned as the lead for the case. However, she soon finds that she cannot approach this as she normally does. She needs the assistance of someone who knows the city down to its beating heart. Nerissa Ravencroft, rising star, singer-songwriter, Inksmouth's pride and joy. There's no corner of the world her music doesn't reach, as her voice shines through every store, every home, every radio. It's no surprise to hear anyone say her name in daily conversation, whether out of admiration or casual interest. But recently, those conversations have begun to take hushed, suspicious turns. Now, facing the ghosts of her past, Nerissa makes a choice, one that can decide her very future once again. And so that is the game synopsis. That's kind of what we're getting into today. This music is great. Orange Lightning, hello, hello, welcome on in. So, the only other thing I wanted to talk about before we get started is that I was right. Not that it was really that surprising. I think many people came to this conclusion. Remember how yesterday I said that I was pretty certain that they were going to be announcing the Hololive English 3rd concert? Well, they did, and it is in New York, and I'm going to do my best to get tickets. That's all. That's all I wanted to say, is that I'm going to have the best trip in August. It's going to be incredible. I'm gonna take so many pictures. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry some more. This is one of those days where I get an excuse to yap about my Oshis and my favorite thing, because it's relevant to the stream. Comic Sans! Hi, welcome on in. Hello. I don't have water to hydrate on today. I have Mountain Dew. Diet Mountain Dew. I'm always excited for an excuse to talk about my Oshis. Nerissa Ravencroft is my Kami Oshi. I love her dearly. I would sacrifice all mortal possessions for Nerissa. That's a lie. I wouldn't actually do that. But I do sacrifice great amounts of money for merchandise. And Liz is my favorite member of Justice. Ooh, that could be fun. Yeah, I'm very lucky. I was very sad when I couldn't go to Breaking Dimensions last year because I was like, they're so close. It's been my dream to go to a Hololive concert in person, but because of everything going on in my life, I couldn't. And then when the world tour was announced and Nerissa was one of the talents, I was like, I have to go. And I managed to pull together a group with some people, and we're gonna go. And then that was gonna be like the thing. I mean, we were gonna do other stuff too, but it was like, I'm gonna get to go see a concert and it's gonna be great, and I was happy with that. And now all of a sudden the EN concert, we can see everybody just as in 3D. They're 3D debuts. I'm so happy. You guys get fangirl Ryan today. I don't go full fangirl very often, but I literally wanted to cry last night because I was getting so excited and so happy. I'm gonna start crying again if I think about it too hard. It's like, that's just assuming I can even get tickets, but the trip is gonna be amazing whether or not we get tickets for this concert. But I just, oh my god, I'm so excited. Anyway, let's play the game. Last thing of note is this is a visual novel, which means I'm gonna have to read. The problem is that these are characters that have established voices, and I am not a great impressionist, so do not judge me too harshly. Nerissa's voice is probably going to be similar to my natural voice. Shiori, I just might place her a little more in my nose, a bit more nasal. And then Liz, I'm not trying a great Exardian accent. I'm just not. It will be offensive to all British people everywhere. I cannot do a British accent, so I'm just gonna give her a voice that I decide upon. You're not a true fan unless you can do a one-to-one impression of their voices. Give you the British pass. No, you don't want me to try. British, innit? I can't even try to do one. The only accent I can kind of do is a Southern American accent. And even then, like, there's so many different kinds of Southern. But I was in Steel Magnolias, and it was good enough. I'm out of practice. It was like... I need to, like, read the script again. It was okay. It wasn't great. I'm sure if anyone was Southern watched it, they'd be like, who are these people? What are they doing? And then, yes, I definitely cannot do a British accent. I need, like, a random sentence to even try it before I get, like, embarrassed. By Jove, I think she's got it. No, I do not. I'm not good with accents. Hello. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame. It's bad. See, it would be bad. It would take me out of the story if I try to do a really bad accent. Anyway, that's all. I just wanted to establish that voice acting will be subpar. Why don't we get started? I'm excited. I want to see Mr. 357. Hello. You're not late to the party. We're just getting started. Welcome on in. It's going great. I had training today. It was pretty good. We're gonna get started because I'm excited. I don't even know that much about the game. I've avoided looking into it too much. I didn't watch any of my other friends play it because I wanted to go in completely blind. I'm just gonna fangirl a bunch. But let's go. Start. Start. I had to click back in. Okay. This game is working. Ah, my pop filter. Okay, that's fine. If I start sounding too poppy, I'll fix it. Yeah, like I said, this game is a demo. Content is subject to change. The story of a Paramnesis novella contains themes of unreality and depictions of experiences closely resembling panic attacks. Individuals for whom such subjects matter is sensitive or potentially triggering are advised to proceed reading with caution or avoid the story altogether if necessary. Let's go! Inksmouth. A vast, restless city with a rich history, founded centuries ago from the humble settlements built along the onyx-black Inkwell River. In a world where there are cities that don't sleep, where complex crossings exist that never see accidents despite the chaos of the bustling populace. Where the gold of the sunset shines across city skylines, sparkling against steel and glass, like the light caught in the jewels of a crown. In a world with such wonders, Inksmouth's badge of distinction is how the shadows are darkest at midday, stretch to infinity at sunset, and come alive with the night. Very descriptive. The city of grayscale days and neon nights has been my home ever since I could remember. Oh, is this Shiori talking? I didn't know if we were a narrator, but it is a light purple. Alright. Never mind, we gotta change up the voice. And I've gotten to know it better than practically anyone these past few years. That's just part of the lot I drew one day. Okay, white is narration. 7:45 on a rainy autumn night. A young woman waits at a crosswalk and watches the water bounce the light around in ripples on the street. The day had been slow. The evening opened itself up to some contemplation. Her mind, once astir, empties as she lets her thoughts drift along with the murmurs of the crowd and the steady drum of the rain. Time. Place. She collects herself. Such brooding ill befits her. At least, while there isn't anyone to charm with it, she figures. The name's Shiori Novella, here in the city of Inksmouth, and the one people look for when they need something solved privately, without the meddling of authority. It's not much, but it's honest work. Well, it's as honest as my clients are. You learn not to question things when you work oddball cases like I do. Whoa! Kaito! Welcome on in. Thank you. No, really. The strangest case I've worked so far was wrangling a ghost cow. It was not a part of the original request. Huh. Haven't seen a case that weird in a while. Until now, I guess. Nerissa! Word around town is there's a new phenomenon spreading. Something about one person's memories being inconsistent with another. One person would insist there used to be a small restaurant where one never existed. Another would claim that their home was in the middle of a community park. Honestly, in all my 4 years of investigating the supernatural, I've never seen such widespread confusion like this. Normally, this wouldn't be a cause for concern. Not everyone's as good at archiving things as little old me, but something tells me that these phantom memories spell trouble. Flashes of her own incongruent recollection surfaced to the forefront of her mind. Feathers. Blue. A voice that raptures and haunts in equal measure. There's some gaps in her memory where events should be. In her dreams, when Shiori sees her, it's always accompanied by an aching so painful it permeates into the corners of her mind. It doesn't seem to leave, not even when she wakes up drenched in cold sweat with shaky palms. Shiori finds that it's hard to forget. No matter how much she tries to push the past from her mind, it's almost impossible with the history they share. She's reminded of their once mutual home, cozy and small and barely fit for two people. But it was theirs. She mourns their hopes. She mourns their dreams, along with any other memory that may have been washed away by the never-ending stream of time. As quick as the visions grace her, they disappear with not even a wisp of nostalgic comfort left behind. I don't have water to hydrate, it's Mountain Dew. I'm gonna fry my vocal cords. Instead, there was a sword, deep red, a spirit unwavering, and a flame undying. Shiori closes her eyes and lets out a long breath. This one was particularly perplexing to her. It's not like she recognized the crimson gaze glowering at her, nor does she remember ever coming by someone smelling of cinnamon and sandalwood. Even worse, she can't seem to shake the feeling of anxiety whenever visions of this person strike her. Yet no hydration! Only neon green uranium soda. Pure America. Caca. Oh! I knocked it onto my keyboard. The unrelenting need to escape. The ever-present thrill of a chase. Frankly, the folks that chased her back there were this person instead. Well, she's not sure of the outcome. It probably wouldn't fare well in her favor, though. The billboard above flickers. In the corner of her eye, Shiori recognizes the vibrant amaranth that paints the digital moon. She knows whose EP it is before she even spares a glance, only to be greeted with all too familiar magenta eyes. She keeps her head low. Nerissa? 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 Nurse Ravencroft? Nerissa? I'm excited. Murmurs gather around Shiori. She adjusts the brim of her cap, tugging it lower in an attempt to shrink away from the conversation. She really shouldn't have any part of it. Her pace quickens. Her boots are uncomfortably soaked, especially with how much her heavy strides are splashing water past the collars. Oh! Look at her. She looks scared. There is a gold flash in her eyes, and as if by instinct, she turns her head to the alley behind her. Shiori's thirst for knowledge had always been the driving force behind everything she'd done. It guided her through the most abominable supernatural cases, made her into who she is today. However, there, under the thundering rain, she wishes that for once her curiosity hadn't led her here. Her vision strains painfully. Her mind begs to look away, but her eyes are locked onto nothingness. The world spins. Lead weighs down her body. Shiori is sure she's about to faint. The end of the alleyway is bending against all laws of nature. The scant rays of neon, the rain's erratic staccato, the stretching black of the alley shadows. They all distort in what Shiori could only compare to a black hole, engulfing any traces of light. It's a whirlpool too complex for her mind. Like prey meeting its predator, she wants to turn tail and flee, but she can't. Though her heart pumps blood through her limbs, her body doesn't respond to her pleas for flight. The vortex painfully twists reality, making a place for itself in a world that tries to reject it. reflections of the alleyway shifting into a mockery of geometrical shapes. She can barely open her mouth. What are you? It doesn't respond. What? A piercing screech ruptures her eardrums. A pain she's never felt in her life. Then visions. Her reality. Her dreams. Her nightmares. Unbearable pain races through her once again as her mind collapses. Nothing makes sense anymore. The visions are now nothing but horrendous, misshapen imagery. Her head is about to implode. She feels the pressure tighten its grip around her skull. She's completely helpless, trapped in her own body as everything crumbles. It may only be a second, and yet it feels like a torturous eternity. Then, in an instant, it ceases. The entity is gone. Oh, the writing is really good. She collapses onto the wet pavement. Rather than relief, terror fills her whole body. She can't stop the tremors taking over her. She wants to cry, scream, anything to expel the bile swelling in her throat. All she does, however, is curl up into a ball, gripping her umbrella until her knuckles turn white. She doesn't want to think about what happened. She doesn't want to know. The mere idea of it drives her insane. Yes, she must have gone insane. That was it. A heavy downpour batters her trembling body. A droning noise covers the little sobs escaping her chattering teeth. Around her, the world continues as it always does. She's surrounded by the sounds of footfalls over concrete and rainwater. And rainwater. Inksmouth barely spares a glance in her direction. Sometimes I can't read. Yeah, and rainwater. Ooh, question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh, that's not what's supposed to happen. I don't know who this is. Well, this is a mess that I made after all. I might get in pretty deep trouble if something breaks. Time to clean it up before it gets out of hand. Who? Who? There's no color, so I don't get to know. I'm not supposed to know. Say my name! You little devil, you have a Nerissa record in your office. Someone who has supposedly broken all ties with her. It's been a week since the government-led investigations surrounding the phantom memories have grinded to a halt. Oh, music! Look at her! She's so cute! I'm gonna pet her head. Pet, 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 pet. Shiori gingerly cradles a mug of homemade latte in her hands. The perfect ratio of sugar and cream mixes into a soft hazelnut. She takes a sip, the warm liquid sliding effortlessly past her lips. It's a welcome sensation opposed to the chilly autumn air outside her office. Her eyes scan the daily newspaper. Nearly all of the headlines are detailing something regarding the stagnant investigation. Civil unrest seems to stretch across Inksmouth's cityscape. It's a shame, really. But what can she do? The scope of this investigation. It may be beyond her current capabilities. Besides, she's got her own plate full of problems to solve. Those visions of feathers have been haunting her ever more frequently. Part of her considers following up on this lead. It might be interesting. It might even be connected to the phantom memories. The other half decides that it's a horrible idea. A traitorous thought lingers in the back of her mind that she dares not confront the meaning of. I hope all this nonsense isn't affecting her too much. Nah, who am I kidding? I'm sure she's fine. She's always been. Her voice trails off. It's a given that her mind would wander to thoughts of what she once had. Shiori decides to shelve her remaining doubts for another day. She still has a mountain of mundane paperwork to go through. Past grievances be damned. She idly shuffles through each request. None of them interest her. And frankly, none of them even pay remotely well enough for her to even consider accepting them. Seriously, what am I to them? A gosh darn detective, not a nanny. Who the heck pays a private eye to babysit their chimera? Where do you even get that kind of pet? Shiori tosses the stack of papers onto her desk with a huff. There's a knock on her door shortly after. A hooded figure emerges, poking their head around the corner. Bijou! I don't know what kind of voice to give Bijou. In my head, I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do for Nerissa, this is what I'm gonna do for Shiori, this is what I'm gonna do for Liz. I've been watching so much Bijou recently. I've been watching her play Claire Obscure. And so, recently I've started going, blah, blah. Behold, your assistant arrives bringing wonderful news. Nice to see you too, Beebs. Not Beebs. Come on, Shiori. You promised you'd go along with it if I brought you coffee for a week. Okay. Agent 81800 it is. What you got for me? Get this. I have no voice for Bibu. I got a gig for you. It's from that big-time detective agency in the neighboring city. A formal investigative partnership request, to be precise. The neighboring city? You mean this thing has spread that far already? Yeah, my cursed eye is warning me that it's bad news. Which is why it's great that you're gonna set off on a buddy cop adventure soon. I was just beginning to think this thing might be too big to handle alone anyway. Thanks, Agent 81800. With a flourish, Bijou slides the pale red envelope across Shiori's desk. She wasn't lying. This thing does look quite fancy. It's even sealed with a wax stamp. The design is immediately familiar. A finger traces the crevices of the hardened blue wax. It's elaborate enough to be custom-made. She thumbs over the imprint of a flame with idle curiosity. It reminds her of the azure pyre in her dreams. When she flips over the envelope, she's met with a mix of trepidation and excitement. Blood Flame Investigative Agency. Well, what do you think? Pretty good, huh? Beebs, how do you manage to arrange this? Some creative job applications that I filled in your stead. Shiori laughs. This may be the breakthrough she needed. A chance to get her name out there with something positive for once. When her eyes skim the letter, there's a particular detail that stands out. Hey, the date for the meeting, it's today. Oh, yeah, she should be coming any minute now. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame. Would you look at that? Wow, and she's even a few minutes early. How about I leave you to it? I've got some stuff to catch up on anyway. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like what? Night Rain? I had to think of the name for it for a second. Tell your online guild buddies I say hi. How'd you know? I have my ways. She's playing Final Fantasy XIV, critically acclaimed MMORPG. Their banter slows, and Bijou sends her a questioning glance. It's an unspoken question, but they've known each other long enough to practically read each other's minds. She straightens her dress shirt and nods affirmatively. Her assistant winks, waltzing over to the door with a relaxed smile on her face. Shiori can tell, though, by the subtle trembling of her fingers, that Bijou is nervous. She understands. It's an agent from one of the most prestigious detective agencies in the country, after all. Shiori would be lying if she said she didn't feel similarly. Shiori tugs on her harness, suddenly aware of how tight it feels around her chest. She was not planning to see anybody today. But duty calls, and she can never resist the excitement of a new case. Okay, let's try not to screw this up, me. First impressions. Those are important, yeah? The door opens. Memories of flame rise unbidden to Shiori's mind. In walks a woman with red hair. A stranger with a familiar face. She looks so handsome. I love her. Whoever designed this, I owe you my life. Thank you for the suspenders and the low-cut blouse. Also, wait, she's a jailbird! How did I not notice that? It's not Fat Fuck Friday. What are you doing with that, Miss Bloodflame? No, I desperately need Liz to have some kind of princely outfit or some kind of dapper outfit. It just has to happen eventually. It has to. I'll wait as long as it takes. I didn't even realize this is handsome woman. She is handsome. I'm blushing. All right. Voice for Liz. Like I said, I'm not doing a British accent, Great Exardian accent. It's just not happening. I'll just, she doesn't really have a deeper voice either. Hello. I'm looking for an investigator named Shiori Novella. I assume she must be you. Wow. She's kinda tall. Not as tall as Nerissa. People tend to think that Liz is taller for some reason, but she's not. As far as I know, Nerissa is still the tallest member of Hololive. Tallest active member. Totally not intimidating. Kinda hot even. Yeah. Yuri. Yep. That'd be me. That makes you Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame then. Correct. Though you can just call me Liz if you would prefer. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. The pleasure's all mine, Detective. What brings you here to my humble little office? Two things. The first, one of the figures from her dreams is now standing before her. The detective carries herself with dignity and poise. Connor's like, I guess people think Elizabeth is taller because Nerissa is such a bottom. What the heck? She just has pathetic wet cat energy. But, you know, she's a long string bean of pathetic cat energy. Anyway, where was I? But there's an air of levity to her that is entirely different from the visions haunting her. The second, a glint of blue catches Shiori's eyes. Yeah, I know, it's kind of hard not to look there. Your eyes are drawn to it. There's, you know, art theory. This is purely from an artistic perspective. The contrast of the blue to the red draws the eyes of the viewers directly to this area of interest that the artist felt was important to the eye, purely artistically. Anyway. It's a little pin on the collar. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I apologize to Shiori Novella. I apologize to Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame. They baited me. I was baited by the writers because. But what's funny is that this did also catch my eye. I did also see the jailbird. She wasn't talking about the flame. Anyway. The second, a glint of blue catches Shiori's eyes. It's a little pin on the collar, in the shape of a familiar blue bird, rotund and cute, the perfect recipe for a mascot. Shiori's gaze suddenly drifts to the phonograph in the corner of her room. Oh, you're yearning. Distinctly, she notices that Elizabeth takes a peek too. Then, she is brought back to the present when Detective Bloodflame sits down across from her. She smiles. Listen, I want a giant jailbird. I need it to be the size of like a pillow. Like, I want to be able to wrap my entire arms around it and barely be able to like fit. Like, I want that big of a jailbird. It would probably be so expensive, but I need it. I need it in my possession, and I need it now. Almost like a beanbag. Get me a beanbag size. I feel like there's a giant Takodachi. I need it. No, not a daki. Like a big beach ball. Exactly. There are Advent plushies on Makeship. I saw those. Hi, Just the Dude. How's it going? I understand that the proposal was sent last minute. I apologize for that. I come from the Bloodflame Investigative Agency, operating from New Exardia. It's just a few miles from Inksmouth. I assume you've heard of it? How could I not? It's the talk of the city. All criminal justice majors want to intern there. I'm flattered to hear our reputation precedes us. Yet, for all of our prestige, we've run into quite the dilemma. You must know what I'm talking about by now. With the investigation slowing down and the abnormalities increasing, the government reached out to me to investigate. The phantom memories spreading throughout Inksmouth. It's a concerning tale that has reached our ears. I've been specifically assigned to investigate it. However, it's clear that I'm not familiar enough with this place, and I need someone who knows the city inside and out. That's where I come in, I'm guessing? Partially, yes. I've heard many things about you. Oh, all good things, I hope. Many good things, including your impressive resume of clearing all cases you've ever taken on. Some of these seemed like they were quite the trouble. Herb could voice this whole game herself, probably. Yeah, probably. I think it would be so cool if they played it. Maybe when it fully releases. Oh, tell me about it. Have you ever had to run into those shellfish armor things? Had to deal with that a week ago. It was not a case of ghost possession as suspected by the client. I've investigated possessed armor, but it never had to do with shellfish. This expression is so cute. I need just this expression printed out and on my wall. Quite high! No, we're looking for clues. We're investigating. This is investigative work. Well, I guess technically they're more like mollusks. Anyway, rest assured, if this case takes a turn for the weird, and I have a feeling it might, I've got your back. Actually, I'm nervous as hell, but that's not important. Detective Bloodflame stands from her seat and proffers a hand towards Shiori, smiling warmly. That's more reassuring than you know. Here's to a good partnership. Shiori shakes her hand. Don't worry, Detective. We've got this in the bag. Knock on wood and all that. Well, I certainly hope so. I'd be out of a job if we didn't. Uh-oh, wouldn't want that to happen. Definitely not. So I'll be counting on you, Investigator Novella. She's a cane?! Profile's updated. Wait. Hang on. Okay, Shiori Novella, a private investigator of Inksmouth. You've been recruited by Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame to assist in the investigation of Inksmouth's phantom memory phenomenon. Thanks to your familiarity with the local area. It looked like she was holding a cane. That's me. This is cute. Elizabeth. Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, a renowned private eye in the Bloodflame Investigative Agency of New Exardia City, and your designated partner in the case of Inksmouth's mass recollective dissonance. She's kind, always pleasant, yet carries a noble air to her, and is also quite handsome. You two have established a great rapport over a short amount of time while working on the case, and Elizabeth has proven herself a great detective partner, but that's less of a surprise than how friendly she is for someone of such repute. Incidentally, she's also a fan of the music idol Nerissa Ravencroft. Can't speak. Likes melon soda. Where did you learn that? How do you know that? At no point did she mention melon soda. Did she? Blue flame equals feelings? Question mark? All right. Unless they're at a cafe now and she's drinking melon soda. Mid-autumn, about 2 weeks into the investigation. 2 weeks of recon and research and trying to put all the disjointed pieces together, and they've made some decent headway despite their limited means. Shiori and Detective Bloodflame, Elizabeth, deciphered patterns in the dissonant memories of the public. There exists consistency in the inconsistencies. The memories they thought false seemed to have some congruence with each other. It was slow at first. One person's testimony would not match up with reality, the reality everyone perceives. Then there were others that agreed with these false recollections. If Shiori were to summarize, they were all wrong in the exact same manner. This wasn't the first time something like this happened. Elizabeth brought up the possibility of mass hysteria. At the time, it was quite the discovery, but the moment of triumph didn't last long. There were simply too many variables that were left unaccounted for. Though the patterns existed, it wasn't enough to give them a concrete lead about the cause of the dissonant memories. Shiori had been deep in thought when Bijou demanded that she and Elizabeth both take a break, perhaps after seeing them both in the office with their brows furrowed as if bearing with a growing headache. So, they decided it was time for coffee, and something entirely different to think about. The ambiance of the cafe they visit at this time of the afternoon is pleasantly calm, and a two-seater table is easy enough to find. So, that'll be a medium hot vanilla latte for you. Oh, what's this? Already memorizing my preferred order, are you? Could it be that you like me? Well, it'd be a little difficult not to remember. Bibu brings you it every day, after all. But I'll take that as a yes. Yep, I'll go find us a table. Perfect. I'll go place our orders then. Be back in a jiffy. With a simple smile, Elizabeth walks towards the front counter. Shiori takes her seat and her mind wanders. She was intimidated at first, when the investigator Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame first set foot in her office, and for good reason. Saxy! Hello, how's it going? The game is great! The writing is very good. It has a lot of really nice descriptive details, and it's also very cheeky, which I enjoy greatly. She had seen her before. The woman of deep red in her dreams. The woman who hunted her across distances that would wear down even the greatest of history's champions. A woman who had earned her fear. Shiori expected, those early days, to have met someone of a similarly intense countenance. Someone who chased down criminals with dogged determination, whose intense, withering gaze would strip the pride off Shiori and make her feel vulnerable down to the marrow of her bones. And then, Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame smiled at her. And that smile was warmth and honesty, and an earnestness that proved to be reflected in her every action. The sight of the same person placing their orders at the counter for them, on a bright, calm afternoon in a nearby cafe, made more sense to her in that moment than anything any illusions made her feel. But that this truth felt so correct only made the visions feel that much stronger. Oh, yeah, this is a Yuri visual novel. It's romance and it's mystery, and they hold hands passionately. There's no time to dwell on that, though, as Elizabeth walks over to their table for two and takes a seat. Orders taken care of. You know, I think this is the soonest I've ever gone out for a technically out-of-work coffee or meal with a colleague since working with them. A gentle warmth spreads through Shiori's chest that she hopes doesn't reach her face and pull on the edge of her lips. Both of you made the same joke at the same time. Listen, we'll censor any hand-holding. The CGs haven't been added to the game yet. We're fine. We're safe. It's not too spicy. Twitch won't get mad at me. Well, I suppose there was Gigi, but I'd been treating her to dinner for a while before she even joined the agency, so I feel like that disqualifies her. Gigi's the short one, right? Oh yes, I suppose you haven't had many chances to meet her, even if she is helping with the case. That's right, she's the short one. Cecilia, the one who tends to dress rather sharp, is her partner, and Raura, or Dauda, I never know how to pronounce, if I should pronounce it more like American. I can't say words well. Dauda, rar XD. With the feline ears is our researcher. We're colleagues, yes, but personally I think we're friends first. Friends first, huh? Lucky bunch. You know, your reputation made you seem like the intimidating, serious, all-business type, but you're actually quite a softie, huh? Well, I suppose there's some truth to that. It's a bit of a balancing act, really. I know, rolled R's. I can kind of, like, I can do it. I'm trying, yeah, I don't know how to roll on my name, Ryan. I'm too American. Anyway. Stop. Wait. I told this story before, but I first learned how to roll my R's playing Pokemon because of Staravia. Staravia! And so, I can only say it sometimes. Star! What's the blue around the person's chest? Flames. Yes, her name is Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame. So, she's got some flames. Yeah, I can do it sometimes. I just feel like people would say, wow, Wow. Did I say this one already? I don't. In this line of business, you can't have too much of a bleeding heart, but you can't let it turn that heart to stone either. That's kind of the same thing with being a counselor. We were just talking about this the other day. Like, I need to have a lot of empathy and compassion, but you also have to be able to be tough. A lot of the times, especially when working in addiction. I'm taking a sip of my drink, by the way. Ah! Quite a bit can be at stake sometimes. It's frightening to think it's possible for people like me to ruin the lives of innocents by focusing too much on results. I've seen it happen before. There's a quiet flicker of emotion in her eyes as she speaks. It's not quite sadness or anger. It's something with enough weight to overshadow her previously relaxed expression. No, I hate sparkling water. Yucky. It's subtle, but Shiori finds it jarring enough to take note of. Seconds pass. Elizabeth smiles again like nothing ever happened. I know! The art, music, everything's really good. All the credits, if you click the link that's in the pinned comment that takes you to the download, you can follow everybody's Twitters that was involved in the game. Or at least, like, the ones that interest you. Those three make it easier. Much easier. I can doubt myself all I want, but they're good people. They remind me to be my best. Myself. You sound like you all go way back. It took a bit of time for the group to come together, but by now it's been years, I guess. For a while, they sit in silence. Elizabeth idly fidgets with her gloves while Shiori finds that her eyes linger a little too long on her blue flickering flame. Alright, now I can make jokes about staring at the flame and art theory and being drawn into the central point of an art piece and contrast and whatever. The joke's already lost. The color reminds her of something. Rather, someone. Oh no, your current love interest is reminding you of your past love interest, who's also your future love interest, because you're all going to hold hands. Nice flame, bro. I showed you my flame. Please respond. Funny coincidence. It's definitely not like these two were designed to be like diametrically opposed or anything. Blood Raven, my beloved. I know this is a Blood Quill visual novel, but I gotta get my Blood Raven out there for a second. So, Shiori glances at the little blue pin on Elizabeth's coat. Well, I guess it's never been a secret that you're a fan of Nerissa Ravencroft. Me too. me too, Shiori. I got my jailbird is right behind me. I could grab it. Actually, wait. You know what I was gonna put on today and I forgot? Give me a second. Give me like 2 seconds. Did I label it jailbird or did I label it fat fuck? I can't remember. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Jailbird! Alright. That doesn't get cut off, does it? Is it still on my head? There we go! Alright, we continue. I have this from when I played Holocure. Andrew! Hello! A fan of Nerissa? Ma'am, that is Ryan T. Lovely. The fan of Nerissa Ravencroft. It's literally you, it's literally me. We're both just blueberries. Anyway. My Nerissa shrine is coming along lovely, by the way. And I'm really hoping that my jailbird Ida bag makes it here before Anime NYC. I know I probably can't put keychains or anything in it just because of security purposes for the concert, but I at least want to bring it with me and keep my Nerissa plushie in it. But I don't know when they're being shipped out. I think they'll ship soon, based on the message I got recently, but I also got a Para one for Flumoko. Anyway, I'm very amped up if you can't tell. I'm very excited. I have a lot of energy. Only clear or very small bags allowed. Oh, so they might not even let the Ida bag. I know there's a problem. Game Nature, welcome on in. Thank you, thank you. I know there's a problem at Breaking Dimensions where the lines got really long because of the Ida bags. because you couldn't like put it through a metal detector because of all the pins and badges and stuff. So I don't know, but at the very least I could take it to the convention. Shipping, yeah, shipping's bad, unfortunately. It's not a holo problem, it's just a shipping problem. Honestly, the shipping prices are doable, even though it's pretty expensive, but now when we add tariffs on top of it, it's just not as doable anymore. I really wanted to get the Nerissa, like her recent merch drop, but the tariffs, I would have had to pay like over $200, and it's just not doable right now because I'm going to New York for Anime NYC and the concerts, and I was just like, I can't. Maybe for her anniversary, but it's sad. Hopefully tariffs go away. go away, so I can go back to throwing money at my OCs. Thank you. I'm thinking of using a proxy going forward if the tariffs don't stop. But for now, I'm just not buying merch until after the convention. Anyway, back to this conversation. I got sidetracked by my love of Nerissa. Suddenly, Elizabeth begins to stammer, and her cheeks gain the slightest bit of color as her once steady gaze changes into a shy series of glances at nothing in particular. You like her. Well, I'm just... Oh, he has Endless Zone Zero. Yeah, not like a proxy shipper. There's a call at the counter for Liz, who seems to stand up somewhat swiftly and abruptly. She's like, I don't want to talk about my crush. That's embarrassing, because this is about soon. Shiori stifles a grin, even if she knows Elizabeth can't look at her. She watches as the detective takes their drinks, returns, and places them on the table. There you go. Thanks. Now, you were saying... I'm just a fan of her music. I don't know much about the artist as a person, really, aside from cursory surface-level information. You're an investigator. I don't believe it. You have been monitoring her. I don't know. I distinctly remember you mentioning something about her family's magic history last week. Oh, the sweat she's caught. Caught red-handed. As information that might be relevant to the case. Besides, I'm more interested in debunking the theories that seem to be revolving about it all rather than making a suspect out of her. Yeah, no. That's jailbird detective behavior. Profile's updated Nerissa. Hang on. Wife? Not actually wife, by the way. Nerissa Ravencroft, rising star in the music scene and one of Inksmouth's prides and joys. You have a vinyl of her first single in your office, but you don't exactly follow her activities as a music artist that closely. 175 centimeters tall, underline. Demon heritage, likes Earl Grey tea. I love the underline. Under 175 centimeters tall. It's like she already likes them tall in this game. Well, someone seems to be having a bit of a laugh in it. In it. At my expense. Okay, if you want. Coffee can be at my expense then, my good lady. And cheeky, too. I'm starting to think our early chemistry is built on a little facade. Look at the fang! Look at this face! Don't you just want to protect this smile with your life? They made her look so good! It's all in good humor. Again, it seems Elizabeth defies Shiori's initial expectations, being such a good sport and such, an easy tease as she is, laughing along with her and bouncing jokes back and forth. The case slips their mind successfully. She's not sure if Elizabeth feels the same, but by the time she's finished her coffee, Shiori feels not quite drunk, but perhaps tipsy over her company. Aww, when you like being around someone so much that you get so giddy. That's cute. She swears they haven't spent so much time there on their break when, as they leave, she notices the blue of the sky beginning to bleed into a soft indigo. In retrospect, she thinks it was a little late in the afternoon for a coffee break. But it was clearly due, and the both of them were the types to have late dinners anyway, with bad habits of losing track of time on lines of speculation or in papers and reports. Is there a way to hide the box, I wonder? I just want to see if that is a cane that she's holding, because I think it is, but it disappears so quickly. Is it in her profile over here? Oh, I think it is a cane. It is! That is so cool. Hang on, you guys need to see this. Look. That is such a cool design choice. I love it. Alrighty. I'll wait for it to come back. I know it disappeared when I clicked into it. Seems to be getting a little late. Not much done today. But as they say, rest is productivity. What are you thinking? Late night at the coffee office. At the office again today? Or do we take it easy? Might as well take it a little easy today. We'll probably do better work tomorrow, fully rested. Elizabeth's phone starts to ring in her pocket. She answers. Hello? Oh god, here I go again on my R's. Well, I'm not at the office, but Shiori is here with me. Speaker? Makes sense. Just a mo. Just a moment. Elizabeth gestures for Shiori to join her in the privacy of her car, and they promptly take their seats inside and shut the car doors. Whoa! A tap on Elizabeth's phone, and Raura's voice rings clear out from it. Oh, please, I can't think of a voice for her right now. If I can't do a British accent, I definitely can't do an Italian accent. Okay, Dauda. Shiori can hear you. Oh, look at that little face. Yeah. Hi. Hi. Okay, so I looked into the whole thing about the song magic with the Ravencroft family. And long story short, I found out that a little bit before the government put you guys on the investigation, the police had also been trying to look into it. So much so that it seemed like it was their prime suspicion for the cause of the mass recollective dissonance. Elizabeth's face, warm and cheerful, mere moments ago, takes on a stern air. Shiori doesn't comment on it. Dauda's voice continues carrying through the speaker. And it turns out they had reasons for it. The Ravencroft family's branch of song magic can alter the minds of people at a large scale, and with subtlety becoming more effective with more exposure to their voices. Historically, it's known better for messing with people's emotional states, but it isn't unheard of for this type of mental magic to be used for hypnotic suggestion. Honestly, her family, I will go into hypnosis. I'm fine with this. Have you heard her and her sister sing together? Aradia? Have you? If you haven't, you should. Obviously, though, even if the magic runs in the blood and still exists, as far as we know, it hasn't seen any use in centuries. Whole generations of the bloodline. Don't bonk me! Bonking illegal. But listen, this is the one stream where I get to be a fangirl. I can shamelessly talk about my OCs. No bunks! Stop it! In other words, you're saying it's a distinct possibility that the root cause of the memory dissonance is... well, not necessarily. I'm just giving you the information. It could mean anything. But I think that, at the very least, the magic should be investigated. You can do that any stream, it's your channel, but it feels weird to fangirl about VTubers when I'm a VTuber. I don't know. I only do it sometimes, or I contain myself. But I could sit here and say I love Nerissa Ravencroft 100 times, and it would be fine. Don't. She hasn't showed up yet. I'm waiting. Where is she? Does she show up what if she doesn't even show up in the demo? I didn't even consider that possibility. That's a good point. A lead is a lead, and even if the Ravencrofts aren't the culprits, it might pay to look into how their magic works, in case it works on similar principles with what we're actually dealing with. New ASMR idea, you say I love Nerissa Ravencroft 100 times. No. That's how you summon her. Exactly, you both said the same thing. Saxy was faster, though. And also, it's not even an endurance stream. That wouldn't take any time at all. 100 times? I love Nerissa Ravencroft. 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 That was already 5 times. I would just have to do that times 20. That would take me maybe not even 10 minutes. Anyway. Shiori, watching Elizabeth's face soften. There's just half a second of a held gaze between them before Elizabeth speaks again. Profile update again. Dauda reports that Nerissa has quietly been the local police department's prime suspect for a perpetrator of the recollective dissonance, citing her demon magic as a possible cause. You also know that it's an emerging rumor among locals and on the internet that she might have something to do with it. But what at first was simply defamatory seems to be a bit more severe now. Very true. All right. I think we have an idea of what we're doing next. Thank you, Lauda. Is that all? Yeah, basically. As always, I just wanted to give you a heads up of what I found so you're not caught off guard when you get the report. Which I will send you tonight? Probably. Tonight? You're working late today? Well, see, my siesta this afternoon turned into a bit of a sleep. Elizabeth glances at Shiori with a knowing smirk. This isn't anything unusual for Lauda, she wagers. I see. Don't let me keep you from catching up with your duties, then. Okay. Good luck on the sleuth work. As soon as the call ends, Elizabeth lets slip a ragged sigh. Truth be told, I've been trying to reach out to Miss Ravencroft for a while now, because you're her biggest fan. For the investigation, before you get any ideas. Listen, you literally wear a jailbird on your uniform. Do you know how obsessed you have to be to wear like merch of your Oshi to work? I don't even take anything Nerissa themed to work. Though that is partly because I don't want any of my clients to associate me with VTubers, because if they know what VTubers are, they might find me, and that I was just talking about it today, actually. I was like, I think I'd have to quit. I would be so mortified if any of my clients knew what I did. I would have to quit. Hi, SCP. How's it going? So the fact that she has a jailbird pin on her work coat. Ma'am is obsessed. I have a jailbird. I do have a jailbird on my head. Hello. Me? Ideas? Banish the thought. Elizabeth allows herself a small laugh laced in fatigue. In their week of knowing each other, she always caught glimpses behind the veneer of ace detective Elizabeth. It's obvious the case has been taking a toll on her as a senior detective. Shiori doesn't envy the position. It's a shame that I haven't been successful thus far. Well, she is pretty busy, and I guess your messages would be finding their way to her managers first. Precisely so, which is why it's particularly frustrating. They're likely sitting in a largely ignored inbox. There's been an increase in slanderous messages being sent to her from what I've found, so I can't necessarily blame them for it. Loath as I am to pursue this through more official channels, I may have to take that route. Official channels? A warrant, or perhaps showing up at her place of work. Shiori's ears hone in on warrant, forgoing the rest of Elizabeth's statement completely. The word causes Shiori's heart to lurch into her throat. Not only is it one she's far too familiar with, it's one that would put everything Nerissa worked for on the line. Shiori swallows lead. She weakly mutters her disagreement, though it comes out as a faint croak instead of anything intelligible. Shiori, did you say something? I don't really think that's a good idea. Oh, well, of course, I do agree. It's only a last resort for a reason, after all. But if that's our only practical lead after a week of running into dead ends, it may benefit us to at least try. Shiori, despite being in the safety of Elizabeth's air-conditioned car, finds herself feeling lightheaded. The dryness in her throat sinks its barbs into her flesh until she can do nothing but swallow uncomfortably. A part of her desperately wants to refuse, but the investigator in her knows it'd be an unreasonable rejection. She finds that there is no logical conclusion to skip this line of questioning, That is the most terrifying part of it all. Just wait a minute before you do anything. I think I might be able to do something. You're gonna call her because she would answer you, maybe, probably. I don't know what their past is yet, but clearly it's strained. Elizabeth's face morphs into one of surprise. Shiori's not sure if she should feel insulted or boastful. Oh, what would that be? I'm not so sure if it'll work, but I think I can pull in a few favors. I'll see if I can figure something out. If all goes well, we'll be able to meet up with her. God, I hope so. She might just kill me, actually. That'd probably be okay, too. Amazing. You continue to surprise me, Investigator Novella. Don't get too excited just yet. All right. I'll withhold my adoration and praise for now. This face, the little fang, she's so cute. Is there anything I can help with? Yeah, you can start by dropping me off at home. Oh yes, of course. Just go ahead and enter the address. Can't do your best work with an addled mind, after all. No, it's just my office. I sleep in the attic. That's in the attic! Someone get this woman an apartment. Her face says it all. What do you mean you sleep in your attic? You can't be serious. What? It's comfy. It saves on rent, too. Besides, I refashioned the entire upstairs to be a living quarters. I can give you a tour. Maybe another day. I still have to report back to Cecilia and Gigi, after all. If it works for you, then that's fine with me. Do let me know if you need anything. Aye, aye, boss. The car starts, and Shiori allows herself a little grin. From there, it's a straight drive to the office. But even in their good spirits, there's a sinking feeling in her chest that she can't quite shake off. These later hours in the day aren't in Biju's work schedule, leaving Elizabeth and Shiori by themselves. Regardless of the short walk to the front door, Elizabeth insists on escorting her every step of the way. You know, this place is quite cozy when I think about it. See? I told you it's not that bad. I never said it was bad, just unexpected. Wait until you see the view from upstairs. Looks pretty at night. You can see the entire city from up there. How interesting. I wonder how it'd compare to my view of New Exardia. Hey, Miss Senior Detective, not everyone can afford a cushy 4-story house. Let me have this moment. All right, I understand your point. Though, I'll have you know, it's only 2 stories. Shocking. I thought someone with your stature would be flaunting it with a mansion. I might even be a little jealous. Careful now, Investigator Novella. You keep this attitude up and I may not show on that balcony date you just offered. Yeah, I know, 2-story house in this economy? Girl is loaded. Who said it was a date? The little sweat. Despite Elizabeth's composed exterior seconds before, she's now reduced to a blubbering mess. There's a healthy blush dusting her cheeks, though her expression is anything but pleased. Elizabeth seems like she's 3 seconds away from imploding from sheer embarrassment. Oh gods, I apologize. I meant a completely platonic date. A friend date, if you will. Shiori allows herself a moment of victory before promptly having mercy on the poor detective. As much as they are different in height, Shiori still has enough leverage to give her a firm pat on the shoulder. Relax, I'm just messing with you. I'd love for us to have a friend date. Goodness, you sure have a habit of making a fool out of me, don't you? I'm starting to rethink our partnership. Shiori's not sure what it is about the atmosphere, but she feels a languid sense of understanding blanket the two of them. The banter between them holds no bite. Their words are steeped in honey instead of venom. If Shiori believed in fate, she'd say they knew each other lifetimes ago. You don't say. I'm taking a sip of my drink. Mountain Dew, the fuel of the gods. Again, the visions come to mind. Perhaps it's the cool air of the autumn night, or the fact that Shiori has not had this pleasant of a break in such a long time, but she wants nothing more than to ground herself in the present. Here, now, just her and Elizabeth and their shared understanding of one another. Well, I suppose I should take my leave. Wouldn't want to keep you up. You sure you don't want to come in? Elizabeth seems to mull over the idea in her head. Her brow quirks in a funny way while she thinks, and Shiori finds that a giggle naturally bubbles from her chest. Laughing at me again, are you? Can't help it. You make it too easy. Right then, you little troublemaker. I'm off for the night. Sleep well, Shiori. You too, Liz. There's a certain sincerity in which Elizabeth waves goodbye to her. It blooms a kindling of flame inside her own chest as she watches Elizabeth drive off into the night. She doesn't move until the car is completely beyond the horizon. She feels her expression turn stony as soon as the door closes behind her, as if there were tungsten littering her shoes. Her strides are heavy and strained as Shiori moves towards her office desk. 5 years. It's been 5 years since Shiori Novella has talked to Nerissa Ravencroft. Briefly, she dares to wonder if it'd even be the same. Nerissa would even want to talk to her still. Her fingers deftly moved to pull out the bottommost drawer on her desk. In it lay a small, locked wooden box. Taped to the side is a small silver key. It's obvious where it belongs. With trembling fingers, she takes a deep breath and opens the box. To both her horror and relief, nothing about the contents have changed. There's piles of letters and old, grainy photos from their time together. The most important item of all, however, was neatly tucked underneath all of the clutter. Her old cell phone. It's the most mundane and routine thing Shiori has done today, but her heart can't help but stutter inside her chest as she charges the long-dead phone. Part of her hopes the battery is dead for good. She's offered no such comfort as the screen flashes to life. In an instant, hundreds of notifications bombard her phone. Ah! Shiori, are you okay? Shiori, where are you? Please respond. Are you alive? I miss you. Shiori sits alone with the grief and the anger swelling within her. Her eyes blur as she scrolls through the messages. Some concerned, some furious, some heart-wrenching. All from Nerissa. The last notification was 2 years ago. The office seems colder tonight. With the last remaining amount of energy she has, she musters up the courage to tap on Nerissa's contact. There's a moment of hesitation as her finger hovers over the call button, but she shakes it off when she tells herself this is the best course of action. The yearning! The yearning! I don't know what happened between them. Like, why did she cut it off? I have a feeling we're not gonna find that out until the full game. It's gonna drive me crazy. I'll have to pester my friend and be like, can you give me the inside details? Can you leak the story to me? I'll keep it a secret. No, I'll wait like everybody else. That was a disgusting sound I just made. By the way, I apologize. Oh, that scared me for a second. The phone rings once. Twice. It repeats for what seems like ad infinitum. There is no answer. Nerissa's old voicemail message rings through the still air. Of course. I mean, a couple of my friends worked on it. Or, like, people that I know. I've been pretty involved in the Blood Raven community since the beginning of this year. So I've met a lot of friends, a lot of Blood Raven friends. Blood Raven, by the way, is the ship between Nerissa and Elizabeth. Blood Quill is the ship between Nerissa, Elizabeth, and Shiori. So this is a Blood Quill visual novel. Of course, Shiori shouldn't have expected it to ever be this easy. Not after what she did to hide so far away. Right when she's about to give up and place the phone back in its box, a text comes in. Ah! Fauna! Fauna! Meet me at Fauna's cafe. 12 p.m. exactly. Oh! Nerissa time! Nerissa time! Nerissa time! Ooh. Ooh. Wait. Ooh. That's probably means she had her phone open. It means she was prepared. She was ready. She's been waiting. She was staring longingly at it, remembering the past that they once shared, the love that they once had. I was just talking about the Breaking Dimensions kiss the other day. Because I was like, what if Nerissa and Liz have an MC moment at the next concert? And then I was like, remember when Shiori, quote unquote, grabbed Nerissa's nose? Breaking Dimensions was so good. I cried. I can't imagine how much I'm gonna cry in person. Anyway, I'm so excited. I'm full of so much energy today. I'm like bouncing off the walls. I love Hololive. It is the thing that brings me the most joy in my days. One of the things that brings me the most joy. I love talking about it. I've been very excited to meet friends that like it as well. Because for the longest time, I was just a quiet fan. I didn't really have a lot of friends that I could talk to about stuff. And I remember I watched in Recco Season 1 and I was like, oh, I don't really have anyone to talk to about this thing that is like blowing my mind. And that's when eventually I joined the Bloodraven community. I'm gonna enjoy Anime NYC. I'm only going Friday though. I'm only going Friday for the world tour. And we're gonna go to Artist Alley and maybe some panels or things. Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be so cool. Anyway, it's Nerissa time. I gotta lock in, folks. The next day begins no earlier than usual, despite the anticipation Shiori and Elizabeth have for their plans. Not much changes in their morning routine, and while it isn't exactly long before their meeting with Nerissa, there is time for the usual rituals of the day. It being the end of the week, a report from Bijou is due on the events in the city too small to make the news, too significant to slip notice. And just odd enough to seem worth looking into. What have you got for me, Beebs? I have to go back to not being able to do a Bijou voice. To be honest, it kind of seems like more of the usual. The new Prospero Day, Oro? That seems like that should not be pronounced like that, I don't know. Branch that opened up on Renfield Avenue is reporting some inconsistencies between records. Some affect corporate bank accounts, so hush-hush stuff. But it's a big enough thing to affect stuff like real estate deals. In other words, only expert sleuths like myself would catch wind of something so severe. Nice job, Beebs. What next? Well, not much more this week. A loose kobold was spotted in Oberon Park. Honestly, not too weird to me considering the place's track record. But it's a rare subspecies this time, apparently. The string of missing persons from last week has a new addition. That one's kind of worrying. Francesca Fairfax, 34. The cases you mentioned last Tuesday? Yeah, those. They found one of the guys earlier this week, so it's not all bad. I put the details in the file as usual. Oh, lastly, Mr. Peasley found his car, so you can forget about him. No, yeah, that tracks. That's always been a job for the police, not a private supernatural investigator. But you said he might be a victim of the dissonance last time. Is that Cthulhu? Hello, how's it going? I've grown wiser. So that's all? Yeah, pretty much. You're going to see Nerissa today, right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to say this, but if things don't turn out the way you want them to, I'll still have your back. Nakama! What the? I'm not asking her to. I never said you were, but you never know. You have complicated feelings about her, I can tell. I'm a detective's assistant. I've got to be sharp. Rock sharp. Shiori is flabbergasted and stunned to silence. Her face feels as though it's growing warm, even if she feels strangely like there's still a misunderstanding somewhere in the room. Food! Yummy, yummy. And Spectra, hello, how's it going? But more importantly, that means you won't have time to review the reports I wrote in the office, probably. So you're gonna read them in the car ride there. Here you go. With a grin as though nothing is amiss, Bijou pushes a paper folder, presumably filled with her written reports, into Shiori's unprepared hands. Agent Bibu is always on top of the job. Well, thanks, Beebs. Sure thing. I'll hold down the fort for today. Glad I can count on you. Of course. So good luck out in the field today. Shiori can't help but smile. Yeah. I'll be back with good news on the case. You can bet on it. They exchanged glances of a tacit understanding, and Shiori heads out to join Elizabeth for the drive to the meeting place they agreed on. You also finished eating. Yummy food for the both of you. As expected, the roads of Inksmouth at this time of day are relatively unoccupied. The instructions were simple enough. Shiori isn't sure if she should feel grateful or paranoid that Nerissa even bothered to respond to her. Normally, as Shiori would expect, they'd be meeting in a cushy office in Nerissa's studio, or somewhere belonging to her music label. However, where they're heading currently is not a corporate office building, but a small, family-owned tea house, Nerissa's favorite for as long as Shiori knew her. She's been there a few times after their split. The Kieran lady running the store, Fauna, is kind to her as always. She doesn't pry when she sees her come alone. Shiori wonders if Nerissa's preferred order is still Earl Grey. It won't matter. They're here on professional investigative business. They cruise through the empty streets in high spirits. Elizabeth, most of all. The telling spark in her eyes is returned, though the tight grip on the wheel reveals some semblance of anxiety. Seems it's my turn to check in. Hey, Liz, you doing all right? Of course. Why wouldn't I be? Well, unless you want your knuckles to turn completely white, I suggest you ease upon your grip there. I suppose you're right. Her grip loosens. Not by much, Shiori realizes, but it's a start. Now, this is just me taking a guess, but you wouldn't happen to be nervous about meeting your celebrity crush, would you? Elizabeth's mouth flaps open and closed. Various sounds between no and maybe jumble themselves together as her brain moves faster than her tongue. Eventually, she settles with a defeated sigh. Well, I can't lie. I am a little nervous. Shiori eases into a light grin when she notices Elizabeth glancing from the corner of her eye. I love this expression so much. The little wilted, ahoge. Relax, you're just her type. Elizabeth sputters another incoherent response, the flame on her chest briefly flaring. Does that thing actually burn anything? She doesn't have time to ask before Elizabeth recovers enough to offer a response to Shiori's teasing. This is a professional meeting. I'm not looking to. What if she's interested? You never know. Shiori casually waves around Elizabeth's own copy of Nerissa's latest EP. You could even get her signature. As much as I'd love that, I fear it'd come off the wrong way. Wait, when did you get your hands on that? The splash of red on Elizabeth's cheeks is something that Shiori begins to enjoy far too much. She's just too easy to tease. Hi, Nesca! Hello, hello! She laughs as Elizabeth grumbles and returns her focus towards the road ahead. Shiori tucks the vinyl back in its sacred chamber, a nest of blankets inside her car's glove compartment. Aren't you nervous too? I mean, she's the biggest name in Inksmouth. Well, I guess you could say I'm nervous. Probably not for the same reason as you, though. Seriously? Let's hear it then. What's got you riled up? Old flames. Well, we're old friends. It's been a long time since we talked, though. Old friends? Why didn't you tell me before? Well, when I say old, I mean old. I haven't had contact with her in years. I see. Well, I imagine it must be nice to see her again after all this time, no? Yeah. We can put it that way. Their conversation dies down after that, though. Elizabeth seems to be much less tense. Her shoulders aren't hunched, for one, and her jaw is no longer clenched like she was chewing on a piece of hardwood. Shiori looks over Elizabeth's relaxing form, proud over having helped the tension disperse, and notices something. Elizabeth's jailbird pin. Would it be appropriate to wear for a situation like this? Maybe she's overthinking it. Nonetheless, as they slow at another stoplight, Shiori points it out. Hey, Liz. Wii music? No, I don't think so. I think they had some custom music made for the game, and then I think there's some copyright-free music, I think, in the credits. Your jailbird pin. Are you gonna take that off? Elizabeth blinks, but her eyes don't leave the road. Oh. No. There's a factuality to the way she says it that makes Shiori believe that it's actually that simple. Just an arbitrary accessory. Nothing more. She lets it slide. They're getting close to the agreed meeting location, and she has to be prepared. They arrive in the tea house's parking lot not long after, with Shiori idly shuffling her case files as Elizabeth leads the way. Her eyes are downcast. Elizabeth doesn't seem to comment on it when she almost bumps into the glass door, only stopped by a strong arm barring her way. Elizabeth flashes a grin, and though it doesn't completely fix the impending disaster Shiori's walking into, she does appreciate the small offer of comfort. It's almost time! Oops! I hit right click. Huh? Oh, this is the save. Okay, go back. Oh, before we go in. We didn't leave him in the car, right? Oh, no, of course not. Oh, look! It's so cute! Shiori raises her cap, presenting to Elizabeth a blob-like creature of inky blackness. The creature, Yorick, doesn't breathe, but appears as though he is sleeping nonetheless. Elizabeth nods at him and makes no effort at hiding the interest in her eyes. It's incredible how he never falls out of there. I won't lie. He kind of helps keep my hat on, especially during windy days. Uh-huh. What kind of pet is he again? He's Yorick. Right. Shiori knows it's a non-answer. Elizabeth does too. She puts her hat back on. There's nothing more to explain. Well, he's quite well behaved, so it should be fine. Shall we? Oh, look at the fauna! There's a little fauna. I love her. Oh, fauna. The ringing chime welcomes them to the store. Fauna's shop has always been special in Shiori's heart, despite the weight of the memories associated with the place. The memories associated with the place for everyone now! A place of green and gold, of warmth, sitting calmly in the midst of the coldness and grays characteristic to the rest of Inksmouth. As Shiori takes in the familiarity, she soon realizes that it is abnormally empty. Likely Nerissa's doing. The woman behind the counter, Fauna herself, a friend, greets them with a soft smile. Shiori hopes she doesn't question why she's coming in with a partner for the first time in 5 years. Fortunately for her pride, Fauna doesn't pry, only taking their orders and floating to the kitchen to fulfill them. So, Nerissa's always been punctual. Guess she's running a little late today. Or it could be that we are approximately 3 minutes early. Oh? Yeah, I guess so. Now look who's only a little nervous. You're acting quite unlike yourself. Man, I love Fauna. Read like a book, huh? Get it together, me. It's been a long time. I guess I'm more nervous than I thought. I'm sure it'll be fine. Probably. You kinda suck at this. What? I'll have you know I'm fantastic at comforting people. It's just a little harder when I'm meeting a celebrity. I guess we're both a little out of our depth here. No helping that, though. We've got a job to do. Shiori doesn't shake her nerves even as their orders of tea arrive and the appointed meeting time comes up. Nerissa. Where is she? She's telling Elizabeth about milk and sweeteners when the chimes at the entrance of the tea shop ring and signal the entrance of a new client. Are we ready? Are we ready for the woman? The woman herself? They glance toward the sound, and for the first time in forever, Shiori's mind comes to a complete halt. That's how I feel every time I hear her sing. Is she gonna show up? If I hit click. Oh. There, bathed in the soft orange glow of the tea house's lights, stands Nerissa Ravencroft. Hi, Spartan! She's thought about this moment time and time again. What she'd say, how she'd act. Of course, no amount of thinking could prepare her for this. Ah, the stars! Elizabeth, this is gonna be me in New York. This is gonna be me in New York. And then I'm gonna cry. By the look of it, Elizabeth is going through a similar dilemma. As the clicking of Nerissa's heels echo throughout the empty store, Shiori's eyes flicker to the two figures following close behind. Yeah, it's a fan game. This is just a demo. It's very good. It's very well written. I really love the descriptions. I really love the dialogue. Fluffy tails! Bow bow! Fuzzy ears. Oddly cute and intimidating all at once. They look so similar that Shiori can only figure that they must be twins. There she is. She looks so beautiful. They drew her so well. The flowers, the translucent, sheer, whatever the heck you would call that. The dress, the slit, the garter. Oh, is my box cut off? No, my box cuts off. I can't get over there. I can't make it over there. I'm contained in my prison. I'm contained in my cell. Damn it. Hi. Oops, I accidentally clicked out of it. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, shit. Shiori. Denied. I am contained in my box. Why did my jailbird get so small? Hang on. Get bigger. Get biggened. Okay. Hey, Nerissa. Long time no see. She just looks so pretty. She looks so pretty. Okay. I'm normal. I'm normal. Nerissa takes her seat with a simper, unfazed by Shiori's familiarity. Her companions float beside her, refusing to sit. She is stunning! Everybody subscribe to Nerissa Ravencroft, and also Shiori Novella, and also Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame. And also all of them while you're at it. Shiori feels oddly unnerved. Their stares are completely trained on her, with barely even a glance at Elizabeth. Wasn't really expecting company. Well, that makes both of us, doesn't it? Beside her, Elizabeth sits rigidly. They look so good together. They look so good together. Hang on. I need, there we go. A majority of the tension from before is gone, but Shiori can tell that the detective is still on edge. Nerissa's eyes land on the blue bird pin on the lapel of Elizabeth's coat. May I ask what the nature of this meeting is? Elizabeth opens her mouth as if to speak, but a voice from behind Nerissa cuts in. What voice? She came in here straight from a photo shoot, so you better answer honestly. Be grateful that she gave you time in her busy schedule. Bow bow! Nerissa laughs gently. Right. I suppose I should introduce them. These two darlings are my bodyguards and dearest companions. The one in blue is Fuwawa, and the one in pink is Mokoko. Please understand, they're fiercely protective of me. Bow bow! Girls, can you please ask Fauna for my usual for me? Don't worry, I can handle myself for now. Are you sure? Because this is... I'm sure. Go on now. The twins promptly make their way to the counter, and Nerissa turns back to the table. Bean, hello! Right. Where were we? Ah, yes. This time in my day is just for you. I'd greatly appreciate it if one of you told me just what is going on here. Did Shiori not inform you? We haven't had the chance to discuss specifics. It's no surprise, however. I've grown used to the lack of communication. Ooh, she's salty! Look at that expression change. So, my handsome jailbird. It seems that you'll have the honor of explaining it to me. I'm normal. Elizabeth makes a strangled sort of noise at that, and it somehow clears up a bit of the tension in Shiori's stomach. I mean, she is handsome. Look at that. Look at her. And then look at her. And then look at them together. It's perfect. Define normal. Look it up in the dictionary. You'll see a picture of my face. Even so, it doesn't erase the bruising that Nerissa's words have left on her. Women in suits, so real. So real. Of course, Miss Ravencroft. I'll try my best to explain the situation in full. The only people that call me Miss Ravencroft are my legal team and my higher-ups in production. Please, feel free to call me Nerissa. Say my name. N-E-R-I-S-S-A-K. Very well, Miss Nerissa. Aren't we the gentlemen? That will do just fine if it pleases you. But let's get to today's agenda. Right. I apologize for the suddenness of the request, Miss Nerissa, but we wanted to discuss some particular matters regarding the mass recollective dissonance spreading throughout the city. It's at this point that the pair of twins arrive with Nerissa's order. There's no mistaking the familiar scent and color of Earl Grey. Nerissa takes the cup and has a small sip, as if to test the temperature, and continues. Interesting. How can I assist? Shiori notices Elizabeth's hands ball up on her lap. Investigator Novella and I have been assigned to this case on request of the government of New Exardia and Inksmouth, and in partial cooperation with their local police forces. Our investigation is proceeding apace regarding the nature of the phenomenon, but there's little we have to show regarding its root cause. Recently, our research officers confirmed a possible lead. Elizabeth pauses. The psychological factors affected by the phenomenon are within the scope of the Ravencroft family's demon magic. As the member of the Ravencroft family with the greatest potential reach using this magic, we thought it would be expedient to speak to you directly regarding this matter. A silence settles over them. 1 second. 2 seconds. I see. Then, something changes in the air around Nerissa. Shiori. She isn't looking at her. I thought you would know better. You, at the very least. Elizabeth looks at Shiori, eyes widening in surprise. There is no hiding now. Please don't misunderstand. We're not here to accuse you. We just need information about the case. Yeah, you get to see Nerissa Brophylian, isn't she beautiful? See, you're gonna get me fangirling again, isn't she stunning? Aren't the artists incredible? Shouldn't everybody go follow the dev team right now on twitter.com? I'm just in a bit of shock that it's even come to this. I'm not clueless. I know people, even ordinary people, suspect that I might have something to do with what's happening in Inksmouth because of my powers. I just never thought it would amount to such a thing that actual investigators would decide to interrogate me about it in an official capacity. But that's why we need to look further. Because I know you'd never do something like this, Risa. Our queen! Shiori doesn't know what came over her. Saying the name felt like the surfacing of an old habit buried by time. She'd barely thought about it, but she immediately regrets it when Nerissa looks at her with a distant coldness she'd never seen before. You can't call me that, Shiori. Not anymore. And certainly not now. There's a long, drawn-out moment of tension. It's silent, save for the sound of Fauna shuffling around in the back. Elizabeth's eyes dart between them, a subtle grimace settling on her expression. Shiori is all too aware of the twins' eyes casting judgment on her, but it's a solemn gaze. She feels naked. All eyes are on her, despite how desperately she tried to sink into the shadows before. She shuffles uncomfortably in her seat. Elizabeth clears her throat. Miss Nerissa. Elizabeth's posture straightens, radiating authority, but her eyes are gentle. I know, Fauna's so cute back there! Shiori's memories rewind to the moment they met, where the detective's princely smile pushed away the anxiety that had settled in her heart within a matter of moments. She wonders if she'd taken the side of her for granted after becoming so close to her. With this command over the atmosphere, Elizabeth continues to lead the conversation. Neither of us believe you are the culprit. and we do regret having to bring you this news. I can only imagine how unpleasant it must be to hear of this. Again, we do not aim to accuse you, despite what the authorities think. If anything, we just need any sort of information that can lead us the right way. And in turn, clear your name. For a moment, Shiori's entire body tenses in anticipation. Then, Nerissa's expression softens. I suppose I should be grateful I have someone with a position of authority on my side, then. Shiori looks away, finally able to breathe as Nerissa focuses her gaze on Elizabeth. Very well. I will try to answer your questions to the best of my ability. Do keep in mind, however, intimate knowledge of my family's magic is not something I can give freely. Please respect that. Of course, I understand all too well. And it goes without saying that the things I do decide to share with you are shared in confidence. Which is to say, none of this reaches the press unless I expressly allow it. We'd never even think of leaking any information to the public. You have my word. Investigator Novella, do you understand? Shiori collects herself the best she can and answers. Of course, Miss Nerissa. Nerissa nods her thanks. All right, so what is it that you need to know? The discussion of Nerissa's magic begins, and Elizabeth leads most of the discussion. Shiori still finds it difficult to speak to Nerissa herself. They learn the following things from Nerissa's own words. The magic of the Ravencroft family is something traditionally channeled by the user's voice, but it has also been expressed in the past through other forms of art. People from the Ravencroft bloodline have been recorded to be able to channel their magic through instrumental music, dance, or even paintings. In the modern day, though, due to stigma from the witching years from centuries ago, the practice of Ravencroft magic has gone virtually extinct. Witch! It's true that the magic exists in the blood. Any member of the family that expresses the traits of a demon is able to use the magic if they so wish. That is as far as they learn before Nerissa seems to pause in her explanation. Elizabeth takes notice. Miss Nerissa, is something the matter? I'm just considering something. The information I'm about to tell you could potentially draw more suspicion toward myself. What? But that's only if you get an incomplete picture. I know I'm innocent of anything, so I'll tell you anyway. It's up to you to make the best use of this information. Nerissa pauses, as if weighing her words. The magic in my blood, the Ravencroft magic, can be let loose by accident, especially if the user never learns to control it. So you can imagine what the generations of repressing our magic might have done to our connection to the art. I see. So that's what you mean by it throwing suspicion on you. But you said it would only if we had an incomplete picture. What do we not know? Leo! Hi! Hello! Thank you! How's it going? I'll explain. To start with, I think you've been given some inaccurate information regarding the scope of my powers. Maybe you were told that Ravencroft magic affects things in the realm of psychology. That would be accurate, strictly speaking. I'm glad you're here too! Leo's one of the people that worked on the game. Also a head pat. Thank you for the head pat. And Hickman, hello. How's it going? You missed all my thirsting over Nerissa. I must admit, I got a bit unrestrained. But I just, look at her. Look at her. You guys made her so beautiful. Hydrate, thank you. I have Mountain Dew today, unfortunately. It is not water. Don't sad face. I didn't drool. Anyway. Better stay hydrated when thirsting for VTubers. You're so right. But it's too broad to describe what we're actually able to do. Ravencroft magic is something that supports the connection between an artist and the viewer or listener. I didn't drool! I don't drool! What a Ravencroft seeks to express, through art, they can do so more strongly with their magic. It's something that affects people's emotions, not their memories. Yeah, but our emotions and memories are very closely tied to each other, Miss Ravencroft. Personally, as a Ravencroft and an artist, I don't use this aspect of my powers at all, so as to give way to freedom of interpretation. But even if everything had fallen into place for me to accidentally let my powers loose and affect a huge number of people, I can't make anyone remember things that never existed. There's an intense look in Elizabeth's eyes as Nerissa explains. Shiori can almost see the flashes between synapses in her brain, almost feel the weight of each thought that she must be taking into consideration. This is Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, the investigator at work. I see. Has your family's magic ever seen any cases of arcane mutation, perhaps? Arcane mutation? Sometimes, when catalysts of magic interact with each other, they trigger a mutation of the magic's effect or expression, or even both. It's possible that a mutation of your magic has occurred somewhere, or in some form. Sometimes I can't read. It's okay. If your wife looks like Nerissa, then you are a very lucky individual. Wouldn't that implicate a blood relative of mine, then? Elizabeth's eyebrows knit slightly. If not one in your immediate family, possibly a distant relative in whom the blood's effect had lain dormant. If it's a distant relative, I'm afraid I won't be of much use. The stigma of my family's magic is disadvantageous enough. My apologies. That was simply the first train of thought that came to mind as we were talking. There are other things I should look into before committing to any sort of theory. But that's just a theory. A blood flame theory. Thanks for monitoring. I see. That's fine then. In any case, the hour is coming up. I have a fan meeting to prepare for soon. Is there anything else you need to know? None that come to mind. My next avenues of inquiry are through research anyway. Alright then. In that case, I'll be taking my leave soon. Wait. Nerissa and Elizabeth both turned to Shiori, who is sure she must have startled them, speaking up so suddenly. I think we should keep in contact for the time being. We might need to ask Nerissa about something again if we find anything. And we should make it more convenient than, all this. That's not a bad idea. Of course you would want to talk to her. Surely it's for investigative purposes only. No other reasons. None at all. Would you mind exchanging contact information, Miss Nerissa? Nerissa has an unreadable expression for a moment, but nods and reaches for her phone. Of course. If it's for this, I don't mind a direct line to me rather than going through my managers. The exchange is done quickly, and the two of them slip their phones back to their places. Yeah, just casually getting her number. Though Shiori had suggested the exchange, she's glad Elizabeth took the initiative here. Had she been the one trading contact information with Nerissa, she wasn't sure how either of them would feel. Now then. Fuawa, Mokoko, you called my driver to meet me here, right? About that, Nerissa. You cleared out the rest of the day for songwriting, Bao Bao. What? That can't be right. Not to step in, but I agree. Speaking as, a fan, I've kept apprised of your schedule and distinctly remember a fan signing event today. See, Investigator Bloodflame remembers as I do. With a pensive expression. Surely. Again, you just know the basic information, right, Elizabeth? It's not like you know her entire schedule. Thank you for stopping by, Spartan. Have a good rest of your day. Just monitoring, guys. Just investigating. Just business. With a pensive expression, Fuawa pulls out her phone and shows something to Nerissa. From where Shiori is sitting, it looks to be some sort of table. A schedule, presumably. Nerissa looks it over, and the confusion in her expression only mounts. There's no way. How can the investigator and I be wrong about the same thing in the same way? Oh, it's gonna leave on a cliffhanger. It's gonna end here soon, isn't it? The demo. Their memories. The dissonance. The plot thickens. Elizabeth and Shiori lock eyes. They're thinking the same thing. The recollective dissonance. Miss Nerissa, allow us to take you to the venue of the fan sign. I have a feeling we'll learn something when we arrive. This is crazy. I can't say I have a good feeling about this, but all right. Who knows? If we learn something, it might make me feel better. Of course. Shiori, let's get the car. Miss Nerissa? You both can go on ahead. We'll catch up shortly. I just need to discuss something with Fuawa and Mokoko. All right, we'll wait for you in the driveway. After hastily slipping a tip by their cups, Elizabeth only needs to give Shiori a look and a nod to signal their exit, as suffused with disquiet as the air is. When they leave the store, Shiori's steps start slow and unsure, but they grow hurried the farther she gets from the storefront. Her emotions are currently a tempestuous storm waiting to explode. Distinctly, she hears Elizabeth's pace quicken to catch up. Not that she needs to do all that, since she's the one with the keys. She may be imagining it, but the thump of Elizabeth's cane seems even louder than it usually is. Somehow, it helps Shiori ground herself, if only briefly. Shiori, wait. Now's really not a good time. We have a case to... Are you okay? Shiori stops. Elizabeth does too, putting a gentle hand on her shoulder. Guys, it's the Yuri. It's the Yuri. It's not quite hand-holding yet, but it's close. This is the Yuri that your parents warned you about. No, not really, I guess. We can talk about it, if it'll help. I don't want to keep her waiting. It's subtle, but Elizabeth winces. We can afford a few minutes. She likes you! Don't fumble! Don't fumble this, Shiori! The twins are keeping her company. Shiori seriously contemplates this offer. She's always been someone who wears her feelings on her sleeve. But this? I mean, Elizabeth really didn't ask to deal with this mess. Idly, she chews on her bottom lip. Surely, those visions mean something, right? Now, I won't pry if you really don't want to tell me about it. But just know that I'm here for... She's my ex. That is a very slow ... and the just simple smile. Oh, more dots. ... For a moment, Shiori wonders if Elizabeth is about to ridicule her out of disbelief. Instead, she hears a choked cough. That certainly explains a few things. Paid peckle. I love this expression, and I love when they wilt the ahoge. I think it is such a cute decision. It brings me immense joy and happiness. Yep. Well, I don't have much experience with relationships, and I won't step in where it's not my place, but I think, just maybe, she still cares about you. Something tells me she didn't accept this meeting just because she felt it was important. Maybe she just wanted to see you again. Aw, that's such a sweet smile. Elizabeth, you're too good. You're too good. Before, well, all this. Elizabeth scratches the back of her neck. Jeez, I mean, if you told me how sensitive this was, I could have been more careful. I'm sorry, for what it's worth. Thanks, Liz. It means a lot. Joe, welcome on in. Thank you. Now, come on. Let's get moving. We have a case to solve. Head pad? I already have the head pad on. Oh no, are you guys real people or is this our bots happening? Anthony, hi. I hope you guys are real. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Do I have to turn alerts off? Is this what's happening? Brian? This feels like bots. You guys aren't real. But if it's only the three of them, I think we can just continue. I don't want to have to go into bot mode. That's no fun. Oh, no, you're real! Sorry for thinking you're a bot. Hi, Brian. I apologize. Real people. Hi. Well, there were 3 of you right back to back, and you all had very suspicious names. I was like, you guys are robots. That motherfucker's not real. Apparently, they are. This isn't the first time this has happened either. What do you mean, what the? Your name, I will say, was the least suspicious. Oh, and I guess Cjo did redeem a head pat. So you guys are real. All is good. All is well. I thought I was getting... You're fine. I thought I was getting bot rated for a second. Because you all followed right back. I just kicked something. Ow. You all followed back to back. You scared me. Anyway. Well said, detective. How bad are bot raids? I mean, it depends how bad, how many there are. It can be rather intrusive. No, you don't have to apologize. It was just a funny coincidence. Elizabeth's words of affirmation light a spark of determination in Shiori, where there was once the cold grip of anxiety. By the time they pull up to the front of the tea house, Nerissa's already there waiting. We get more Nerissa! I thought the demo was going to be ending soon. Shiori pulls herself together as best she can. She's a job to do. The tense atmosphere is somewhat alleviated, thankfully, when the passenger door opens and the frantic voices of Fuawa and Mokoko flood the vehicle. Crawling into the back seat was a whole ordeal for the twins, apparently. Ah, YouTube. Well, hello. Oh, thank you, Avelian. Enjoy your food. From what Shiori could parse through the scrambled bows, it's not easy having a giant fluffy tail. Throughout it all, she hears Nerissa giggling along warmly. Shiori doesn't have time to brood about it when Elizabeth speaks. Shiori, could you pull up Miss Nerissa's website? That's where most of her scheduled events are listed. You want me to see if the fan meet shows up, right? I'm on it. It was a simple enough task. With her laptop mounted on her lap, she hastily types away the necessary search words. At first glance, there's really nothing out of the ordinary. But when her cursor hovers over the list of scheduled events, it's clear something is abundantly wrong. So, do you want the good news or bad news? You're a real user. I like doing human things like watching the live stream and eating the hot dog when I'm watching the baseball. That is a very American robot. Honestly, I wasn't expecting to even have good news. Go on, let's hear it both. Ah, she's so beautiful! She's so beautiful! Yeah, Hololive. It is a romance mystery visual novel fan-made game. The pinned comment has the links to both where you can get the game and also the developer's Twitter. So if you're interested in checking it out, click it, because this is just the demo. So the full game will come out in the future. Real quick, can you confirm something for me, Miss Nerissa? Of course. Ask away. Am I correct in assuming that the address you've given us is for the venue you normally use with these types of fan events? English and Irish? Well, it's a good thing I didn't do a fake British accent. Yes, you'd be right. Carter MEC is the largest convention center in Inksmouth. I prioritize the safety and comfort of my fans, so we always strive to host our smaller fan events there. You know, things that aren't concerts or press tours. I see. Liz was right about the website listing scheduled events, of course. But I can't seem to find any events scheduled for today. What's even weirder is that if I head back in the scheduled timeline, there is a fan meet scheduled a week before. But it's in an entirely different venue. It's not Carter, but the Adair Event Center. It is a good game! I'm enjoying it. Everyone works so hard. I'm in love. I'm in love with the designs. I wish I drew more often, because I would love to draw these designs. But I don't draw very much. What? But that can't be right. Nerissa always talks to us when scheduling these events. We never remember using any other venue either, Bao Bao. That voice was way too strained on my throat. That wasn't right. That wasn't a Mokoko. That was something else. Are you absolutely certain? 100%. It seems like we really do have a case on our hands. Shiori has always had good instincts, so she isn't surprised to find that something truly is amiss. Bao Bao! What does surprise her, though, is the timing of it all. Was this purely by coincidence? It'd be a pretty cruel joke by fate, if so. The anchor in her lungs seems to grow heavier as they approach the venue. She can't shake the feeling that something is terribly wrong. And there definitely is, because when they arrive... For sale! There's nothing! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. An empty lot stands at the location Elizabeth and Nerissa believed was the venue for Nerissa's fan sign event. Ah, the expressions, they are sweating, they are nervous. Hey. So it's just like the other cases. No, this is different. Shiori's always had good eyes. Without even searching, she'd always been able to notice things invisible to others. Ghosts, perhaps, or glimpses of the spiritual plane. She's not sure where she got it from. It's not something that seemed to be passed down in her family, nor was it something she deliberately obtained. But without any action from her, sometimes things would catch in the corners of her vision. And today, something does. What, I'm sorry, what was that? I'm sorry. What was that? Can we rewind? I haven't been saving it all. I can't rewind. A cursor jump scare. No, there was a figure here, and it was wearing pants, and it had something weird with its face, but it was gone so quickly that I couldn't process it. She doesn't know what to make of it. She's always compared the apparitions in her special sight to background noise sometimes. To really see what's hiding before her, she has to focus. Open her eyes with intention. Gaster. We're still playing Deltarune. And Undertale. We never switched games. To reveal the true nature of these specters. I want to see it again! It can't be that this place is haunted. It doesn't have the look of a haunting. Seems a more thorough investigation is in order. Oh, we actually get to click on things? Oh, what the hell are you? Why are you so dapper? Oh, this is so cool. Okay, wait. Wait, oh, I'm excited. Okay, let's start with the for sale sign. Hey, was this always here before? Not that I know of. Actually, it's listing the lot as for sale. Nurse is right. Really, it should have been the first thing she noticed, with the bright red words backed by an even harsher yellow background. Nerissa's flame! Once again, if we go back to my discussion on art theory and the way that designs, bring your eyes to the most important detail, if we follow the flowers, it brings us to where the artist wants our eyes to be drawn towards. Whoop! Anyway, we don't objectify women here. I'm being totally silly, by the way, just for the record. I hope everyone knows I'm hyping this up for the bit. Though she is beautiful, and I do love Nerissa. Also, I haven't really touched on it because I'm so immersed in the story, but just a reminder to keep chats at least somewhat on topic, please. Just so I make sure, we stay relevant. Doesn't it look kind of weird? Well, I can't say I'd choose this color scheme. It definitely catches the eyes, though. It's McDonald's. It's ketchup and mustard. No, I mean, look. Shiori watches in silence when Nerissa steps forward and waves her hand through the sign. Is it not real? Fascinatingly, the image distorts itself around Nerissa's hand. It splits and contorts in opposite of her motions, as if fighting against it. Oh, I get what you mean now. Definitely weird. Nerissa wrings her hands together with a frown. That felt strange. Like hitting a funny bone. Ooh, I want to try. There's a smile that dares to play on Nerissa's lips because you two love each other. You love how silly she is. Shiori pretends she doesn't notice, even if she feels like breaking out into a goofy grin. You have a goofy grin already, girl. It's too late. When she steps closer to replicate the stunt Nerissa tried before, she notices something off. The date. Miss Nerissa, can you tell me today's date? Nerissa takes a quick glance at her phone to confirm. It's September 22nd. Do you remember the 21st night of September? Sign lists an auction date for the lot. Right here. August 12th. Now, I'm not too privy on looking at my calendar, but I'm pretty sure that comes way before September. Yeah, apparently not. They all got memory wiped. Nobody remembers the 21st night of September. Cyclops, hello, welcome on in. There are people who would kill for this type of real estate. This amount of land in one of the busiest parts of Inksmouth, and yet no one has bought it? It's safe to say we're dealing with shenanigans of extreme proportions. You happen to know anyone that deals with time paradoxes? Crony! Ame? She originally poses the question as a poor attempt at humor, though she's shocked when Nerissa's face twists into quiet contemplation. Well, remind me again what your career is? Oh, don't pretend like you don't know. I can't help but remember signing a vinyl dedicated to one Yorick not too long ago. Anyway, moving on. Info on billboard added to notes. Now we have notes. Lot posting. You and Nerissa found a particularly strange thing staked into the ground. It presents itself as an intangible image of a real estate sign, specifically listing the very same lot you are investigating as for sale. Despite the auction for the lot being listed as August 12th, the date has long passed without any signs of somebody buying the lot. Alright, let's talk to the Bao Baos. What will you ask them? What's the matter? Is something the matter? The twins turned to Shiori with a worried look and drooped ears. Moko-chan and I think we've been hit with the phantom memory thing. We used to buy donuts here to eat while going home, I think. I remember because the sun would set right between those buildings over there while we would eat. But Moko-chan says I'm remembering wrong because this lot has been empty for years. I used to see a bunch of stray cats here and I'd want to chase them. While we were driving here, I thought we were going to one of the buildings next door, not this empty lot. Something's wrong. Yeah, your Mr. Donut was closed. Rest in peace, Mr. Donut. There is something really weird about all this. I'm so confused. I remember the donut shop here so clearly. Don't you remember, Moko-chan? We visited Auntie Francie all the time. Of course I remember Auntie Francie. We visited her just 2 days ago. But her donut shop wasn't here. It's 8 blocks down south. Is Fuala remembering correctly, or is Mokoko? How am I supposed to know? I'll say Mokoko. I think Mokoko is the one remembering correctly, which just begs the question, where are Fuawa's memories coming from? Either way, it's our job to figure this out. Leave it to us. I think we can rely on the tall red lady. Not sure about you, though. They have beef. They have beef. Nerissa's been telling them all the beef for the past 5 years. Thanks, you two. What will you ask them? Auntie Francie. You mentioned someone named Auntie Francie. Could you tell me more about her? At the mere mention of the name, the twins' tails wag excitedly. Auntie Francie owns the donut shop near the Carter complex. It should be here. Nuh-uh. I'm telling you, it's 8 blocks down from here. Okay, we can sort that out later. Do you know where she is right now? Maybe she knows something we don't. Fuawa hums pensively. Usually she helps with catering when there's big events in the MEC. But since it's gone, I don't know where else she'd be. Maybe she could be in the donut shop. We can stop by and get freebies. Catering services for the Carter MEC, huh? I should keep her in mind for the future. If Mokoko's right, then the next destination is clear. But if Wawa's right, then we'd have a problem. Oh, does the donut store perhaps have a name? Maybe we can give a call. It's called Mrs. Donut. Bow bow. Of course, why not? Ask about them, so many questions. So, Nerissa said you guys are her bodyguards, right? The twins eye Shiori a bit coldly, despite having an amicable enough demeanor before. It seems the mere mention of Nerissa from Shiori has sparked something in them. Though reminiscent of the look they gave her back in the tea house, this time their expressions were a bit more intimidating. That's right. Our job is to protect Nerissa's smile, bow bow. Oh, I'm not sure if that's what a bodyguard usually does. We aren't just her bodyguards. We're her best friends. The admission brings Shiori a small amount of comfort. At the very least, Nerissa won't be alone when dealing with this. So, why do you seem to have a problem with me? The twins fall silent, their expressions shifting slowly. In perfect synchronicity, their eyebrows draw together and their lips pull downward. To Shiori, they reflect the image of restrained anger. Do you really not know? Well, I haven't really met you guys before this, so... We protect Nerissa's smile, bow bow. But whenever she mentions you, she never smiles. No! In a universe where Shiori doesn't make Nerissa smile anymore. Shio Raven fans are in shambles. The OG Nerissa ship. She's always sad no matter what we do. Shiori, in all her years of wisdom, quickly knows where this conversation is heading. Her intestines seem to tie knots around themselves. It was you. You're the one who took away Nerissa's smile. No. Bow bow. Bow bow down, Arrow. Shiori, how dare you? Despite already preparing for it, the words burn streaks across Shiori's skin. She already knows that she's not in good standing with Nerissa. I need to know their past. What did you do, Shiori? But to think that after all these years, not only has the singer thought of Shiori, she's also felt unimaginable sorrow because of her. I'm sorry. It was all she could say. Even if, in a distant dream, they end up reconciling, would it make up for all the years they lost? You can't make up for lost time. All you can do is make the best of the time you have right now. That's all you can do. The twins turn away. It seems they have nothing more to say. They no longer seem interested in you. Ah! Maybe I shouldn't bother them anymore. Alright, I'm gonna save these two for last, but also can we just admire their full bodies for a second? Can we please admire the designs? Because this is the first time in-game we've been able to see their full figures. It does look like there's smoke on the bottom, yes. Either that or it's supposed to represent like a different kind of material. But like her wings, the thigh highs, like I said, the garter, she is perfect. And she is also perfect. I love this cane. I love the pants. I love the jacket. They look so good. I love them. But before we talk to them, I want to do the stuff in Shiori's creepy vision. This thing is freaking me out. I don't like this thing. I don't know what it is, but it's creepy. I guess we should talk to it. In a far corner of the empty lot, there's a figure that is invisible to the naked eye. In Shiori's gaze, they're practically a beacon. They're dressed business casual, and Shiori hazards a guess that they may have been an employee of the venue that formerly sat in this lot. Of course, she has no evidence to support that theory, aside from the location they're standing in, but it's not like she has anything else to go on at the moment. Hey, Liz, do you see that person over there? Liz casts her eye in a wide net towards the direction Shiori nods in. Not particularly. Is this why you put your ability to see ghosts on your resume? Hey, it's a useful skill. This one doesn't seem like a ghost, though. What are you, some kind of expert? I love this smile. You bet. Your girl's got 3 successful ghost possession cases under her belt. An impressive feat indeed. Go on, then. What does the not ghost have to say? Elizabeth tails behind while Shiori approaches the maybe-not ghost. When they get closer, she realizes that they're mumbling to themselves. She clears her throat, attempting to put up the most professional voice that her abilities can allow. Hey, ghost. What's poppin'? Of course, she fails miserably. So miserably, in fact, that her introduction goes entirely ignored. Instead, the figure continues mumbling. When is she coming? Maybe we got off on the wrong foot. I can help you. Who are you looking for? The ghost doesn't pay Shiori any mind. They continue repeating the same phrase in an eerily identical manner, almost as if they were stuck in time. Not getting anything? Well, sort of. They're not responding to anything I say. It's not like they're responding to, well, anything. Shiori waves her arm in front of the figure to no avail. They stare past her into a distant horizon. What are they saying? They're asking when she is coming. No name. Could they perhaps be referring to Miss Nerissa? That'd be my first guess. Yeah. I can't really ask her about them, though. It's not like she'd be able to see them to confirm if they're someone she knows. You can't describe them? It's weird. They don't really look like a person, but my gut instinct tells me they were, at some point. They're humanoid in shape, and they have human clothes, but as for their actual features, I can't really lock on to anything distinct. That's why I originally mentioned they're likely not a ghost. Ghosts are still human. This person, whoever they were, has been so distorted I can't even discern their face. A horrible fate. What could have caused this? I don't know just yet. It's definitely linked to the recollective dissonance considering the timing and place. Shiori's eyes catch onto something on the ground. As if an illusion, it flickers between visibility and invisibility. Yago's broken dream personified. His dream isn't broken, it's thriving. Upon closer inspection, it seems to be a pamphlet. It details the event schedule for today's date, Nerissa's fan meet being one of them. Huh, that's weird. At least we have some confirmation it's supposed to be today. On instinct, she reaches for the mysterious object. When she touches it, an all too familiar screech pierces her ears. There's a shock that travels down her spine as images flash through her mind. 1, 2, then hundreds, millions. Space that is empty and occupied all at once. The weight of infinity makes it impossible for her to breathe. And that gaze, it's one she could never forget. It's there lurking in the corner of her eye, just out of reach. It all comes rushing back to her once again. The hopelessness, the despair, above it all, the need to escape, to find solace in anywhere but the endless chasm of cold. It ends when Shiori falls on her back, scrambling away from the pamphlet. Shiori? Are you all right? Like a bullet, Elizabeth shoots to her side, concern etched into every inch of her features. Shiori takes the chance to rest herself against the detective's firm stature. She's so strong. Not far behind is Nerissa, crouched low with her hands hesitantly hovering beside the two. I'm okay. I'm fine. Don't worry. What happened? What did you see? She tries to point to the pamphlet. Her aim is still unsteady, but she figures the general direction should be enough. There's a pamphlet there. It talked about Miss Nerissa's event. Nerissa spares a glance toward the direction Shiori is pointing. Fear and uncertainty quickly give way to confusion. Where? I don't see anything. Shiori sighs raggedly. Well, that's definitely never happened before. Could it be the dissonance affecting you too? No, it's still there. But now that I look at it, it's giving off the same kind of vibe as the ghosts I tend to see. There's a beat of silence. Then Nerissa speaks. You know, that always did freak me out. Did you know she always tried to scare me with ghost stories, Detective Bloodflame? Which was already bad enough. And then she dared to do it when we walked down dark, spooky hallways. Which I hate! Well, in my defense, Nerissa glares at her, and Shiori immediately swallows the witty retort that was making its way out of her lungs. I mean, There. Well, aside from that, I'm sure you didn't just get frightened by a pamphlet, right? Shiori takes a moment to collect herself. How does one even begin to explain what she just experienced? What I saw, I've seen it before, heard it before. It was about a month ago, before I met you, Liz. There's something about it. Our world has plenty of oddities, but this isn't one of them. I see. Perhaps we should have consulted Lauda. God damn it, now I had her name down briefly. Dauda and Bijou to see if they know more about the phenomenon you're describing. Regardless, that timing coincides with when the dissonance was spreading throughout the city. Perhaps there's a connection. What do you think? It's too early to tell, but I think you might be right. It'd be too much of a coincidence otherwise, I think. Elizabeth and Nerissa both help Shiori up from the ground. Nerissa runs her hands through the fabric of Shiori's coat, absentmindedly patting it down for dirt and debris. They're touching, points, Yuri. Her hands still for 1 second, and fall to her sides the next. Shiori swallows heavily at the implication. Anyway, my bad. I didn't mean to worry you guys. I'm just glad you're fine. Having only one detective on the job would be bad and all. There was a wobble in Nerissa's cadence that leads Shiori to believe there's more to that statement than she lets on. She likes you. She cares about you. Elizabeth, however, seems oblivious to it. Exactly. Miss Nerissa is right. What's important is that you're safe. Are you feeling better? Oh yeah, don't worry. I'm a tough little cookie. Alright, let's look at the notes before we talk to Nerissa and Elizabeth. So, he found a pamphlet, or something. A pamphlet's ghost? When touched, it revealed an entirely foreign reality to you. A part of you wishes to see it again, to sate your endless curiosity, even if it could cost you your sanity. Wawa seems to remember a donut shop being at the lot's location, and is confused at it being empty suddenly. Mokoko, however, remembers the empty lot actually being a great place to chase cute kitties, and that it has been for quite some time. You're unsure of who to believe. Wawa and Mokoko mentioned a woman they call Auntie Francie. So apparently, she runs a donut shop that's supposed to be right next to the Carter Metropolitan Entertainment Complex. Okay, I already read this one. There was a maybe but probably not ghost in the corner of the lot. You believe they once existed as an employee of the venue, but now they're a distorted image of what a human should be. But really, what is a human to begin with? Alright, now to talk to the wives. Who will you ask about? Oh, Nerissa Ravencroft. Nerissa looks troubled. I was asking Miss Nerissa a few baseline questions. However, it seems the recollective dissonance has affected her faster than anticipated. It's like everything is foggy. I can't even remember what the building looked like. Something tells me that's not a normal occurrence for you. Do you remember anything else about the location, at the very least? Miss Nerissa. There's a twitch at the corner of Nerissa's lips. It disappears as quickly as it appeared. It's replaced with a confused grimace instead. God, the expressions are so good. They're so good. I love it. I love them. No, nothing at all comes to mind. It's freaking me out, honestly. Hearing it happen to others was already awful enough. But to experience it firsthand... It'll be okay, Miss Nerissa. Investigator Bloodflame and I will save the day. You can count on her word, at least. Elizabeth shuffles in place, awkwardly coughing into her arm. Certainly, Miss Nerissa. Don't you worry. You've got the best investigators in the city right here. Nerissa smiles at that. Shiori hopes it's a good sign of things to come. Who will you ask about? Elizabeth has been giving you curious glances. Other wife. Shiori. Huh? What's up? You've been looking about the area rather strangely. And I think I caught your eyes glowing earlier. Not to mention that frightening situation with that strange pamphlet you mentioned. I know we haven't been working together that long, but do you have some sorts of observational abilities that I don't know about? Vanica, hello, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good. Well, yes, but they're not things I can control. Nerissa steps forward. There's a subtle air of pride that suddenly falls about her. It's like a sixth sense, is it not? As I've observed, Miss Novella has the ability to glimpse remnants of other planes. Which is to say, she can see ghosts and spirits. As you've observed, Shiori and Elizabeth exchanged knowing glances. So are you saying this place is haunted? That's the thing. Years with these eyes and a curiosity like mine have gotten me pretty well acquainted with the looks of ghosts. But this seems different. Like the palette is wrong. Except it's not really colors that are sticking out. It's hard to explain a sense you don't really share with anyone. And full transparency here, my Shio vision hasn't acted up the entire time the Phantom Memories thing has been, well, a thing. Something is different about this place. But you don't think it's haunted exactly. Also, Shio vision? It's what she calls her special sight. A convenient enough shorthand, to be sure. I see. I suppose that explains in greater detail how you were able to see that invisible figure. Frankly, I was wondering about that. For now, just let me know if you see anything else odd. I get the feeling this is something that is yet out of my depth. With that, Elizabeth's curiosity seems sated, and she goes back to her discussion with Nerissa. The tension in the air has dissipated somewhat. You feel they'll be fine without you for now. Let me read the new note. Nerissa's memory. Nerissa doesn't remember anything about the building, despite being adamant that it's her and her management team's preferred venue. Her memory besides that seems fine, though. And then Shiori's profile updated. You've always had the ability to see remnants of things that exist in other planes of reality, such as the spiritual. It hasn't done you that much good for your career history, but might wind up rather important in this particular case. The things we learned match up with the same patterns, but something is odd. Well, there is one constant at least. The cats here are too cute. Cuteness aggression is a disease. By the time the others have gathered around Shiori, she's already scribbling into her notepad with a fervor. So, care to share with us what you found, investigator? Why, of course, my dear blood flame. That doesn't really roll off the tongue as well as Watson does. Watson? I've worked with a Watson. She was quite talented, actually. Ame! Different Watson. Anyway, here's the rundown. There's 3 things that I can see with my Shio vision, one of which is that billboard over there. The other 2 are, well, I believe you already know which ones I'm talking about, Liz. The apparition in the pamphlet, correct? Yep, that's why they pay you the big bucks. Now, my issue is, in every other site I visited, none of them have had artifacts like this. Specifically ones where I need to use my Shio vision to even perceive. What's even stranger is that all 3 objects had something off about them. The billboard's auction date is almost a month past due. Even ignoring how weird it is that they haven't set a new date for an auction, this lot is literally prime real estate. There has to be someone who would have bought it by now. I have to agree. I've mentioned this before to Shiori, but Inksmouth has a bustling populace with heavy pockets. There's a reason why the convention center was built here, out of all places. You make a fair point. While I was with Shiori, we both encountered a strange apparition of sorts. According to her Shio vision, at least. Since it likely isn't a ghost according to her, we might assume that it's here for some other reason aside from a routine haunting. Considering the timing of events, it may even be linked to the recollective dissonance. We both already know what happened with the pamphlet too, which leaves one question. What's the connection between Investigator Novella's eyes and these artifacts? I'm not too sure, but I think I may have a certain theory. Shiori casts her glances toward the twins chatting not too far from them. They seem to be in better spirits. If I were to be so bold, I don't think it's memories that are changing. This will sound crazy, but I'd say it's more like reality itself, I guess. That is a bold assumption, indeed. Wouldn't that be jumping a few too many steps? You might be right, but I really feel like there's something fishy going on here. There's just too many factors that simply wouldn't make sense if it was just about memories. If I may, I think Shiori is right. The music cutting out. It's a big moment. Are they about to rekindle their flames slowly but surely? Also, I just realized it looks like you're head patting the jailbird, which in turn means you're head patting me. You're head patting me twice. How does that feel? It's a statement that surprises all three of them. I see. How do you figure that exactly, Miss Nerissa? Nerissa's brows furrow and her gaze turns to the dry ground below them. I'm not sure. Or rather, I'm not sure yet. It's just something about what Shiori said felt like it made a lot of sense. But even if I think about it, I just can't explain why. The tension between them has been assuaged somewhat, but Shiori is almost too aware of the way Nerissa reins herself in when she speaks to her. It's no wonder that the sudden proclamation gives Shiori pause. Elizabeth's expression remains inquisitive and serious, despite the odd declaration, though. Nerissa notices and shakes her head, seemingly more at herself rather than anyone in her company. No need to mind me. Perhaps it was just the spur of the moment. The real brain work is better left to you professionals. I wouldn't be too hasty to say that either. While I can't exactly encourage going blindly with intuition alone, it is worth noticing that you have a strong hunch about this theory. Especially given the nature of our case messing with cognition. Nonetheless, that makes it 2-1. As far as the evidence is concerned, it's not like we have any better lead to go off of currently. If we go with the theory that reality is changing, our best bet is likely to review the history of this land. Would you not agree, Shiori? While we don't know the true scope of this phenomenon, there must be a certain limit to it. If we were to find that limit, I believe it may be in the past. Elizabeth's logic is sound, even with the flimsy foundation they've built their case on. Even if they didn't find their answer, they'll surely find something worthwhile. Right. And one more thing. The twins mentioned something pretty interesting. Mokoko, to be specific. In her mind, the venue should actually be about 8 blocks down south, a donut shop included. If we find something there, that'd be great. But if not, then perhaps that would add more to your theory, correct? Right. Someone's gotta have the correct memory, right? So what do we do if nobody has it? It seems like you two can already read each other's minds. Well, I suppose you can say that. Look at their cute little smiles. They're so cute. I like to think that Investigator Novella and I have grown to follow the same lines of reasoning. Get jealous. Either way, I suppose we have our next objective. Miss Nerissa, would you like to accompany us, or... Oh, don't worry about me, darling. Truthfully, I think I've exhausted myself today. No, give me more Nerissa. Of course. In that case, we shall take our leave first. If you need anything, do not hesitate to send me a message. Thank you, Detective Bloodflame. I will certainly keep that in mind. Alright, bye-bye, just a dude. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. Nurse's gaze descends upon Shiori. It was nice seeing you again, Investigator Novella. Likewise, Miss Nerissa. Dot, dot, dot. Elizabeth is like, the tension here is too thick. I can feel it. It is awkward. I'll see you in the car, Shiori. She's giving them their space. Elizabeth awkwardly shuffles off. If Shiori were not tongue-tied with bitter emotions, she'd probably be laughing at how ridiculous her normally composed detective partner looks. Instead, she finds herself wishing that Elizabeth had stayed. Because now all she's left with is the murmuring of pedestrian traffic and the distant mechanical humming of engines. Neither of them have any intentions to move, it seems. Shiori clears her throat. Look, Nerissa. What? I'm sorry. I owe you that much, at least. Ah, she angry. She's angry. Sorry? That's all you have to say? My god, Shiori. Do you know how much I searched for you in those 3 years? You couldn't even give me a warning? Like, oh, hey, Risa, I'm gonna disappear off the face of the earth without telling you. See ya! Nurse's lips are curled into a snarl. Shiori doesn't remember ever seeing this amount of fury pointed towards her. Her voice wavers despite it all. Shiori remembers enough to realize that she's on the brink of tears. I thought you were dead. Do you realize how hard that was for me to go through alone? Then, I come to find that not only were you alive and well, You even had your own little business going. You know what's funny? I tried to contact you the night I found out. Called your business phone just to be sure. Do you know what happened, Shiori? You hung up on me. You didn't even let me finish my sentence. You just hung up. Wait. I never pick up the calls on my business phone. Nerissa's brows furrow in confusion. What? Bibu. Who? She's my assistant. She's also the one who takes all business-related calls. So the one who answered my call was... Bibu. Yeah. Against all odds, Nerissa's boiling temper reduces to a simmer. Bibu! The cockblock of all time! I see. That certainly explains a lot. It does not explain a lot. I mean, it explains that one incident, but she still ghosted you for years. That part is inexcusable. Do you feel a little better now? Well, little is certainly putting in a lot of work there. Sorry. I know there's nothing to excuse what I did, but I still owed you an apology. The last time I got one from you was at the library. That was 5 years ago. I know, I didn't know what to say. I've always been a bit of a coward. I'm sorry for that, too. I never saw you as a coward, Shiori. Not once in my time of loving you. You could have talked to me. You knew you always could. What changed that night? I hurt you, Nerissa. It's not something I can take back. Shiori, I didn't want to get you involved in all this. Everything's just too complicated right now. Nerissa flinches. There's a crack in her composure that clenches at Shiori's heart. But there's nothing she can do to comfort her. Not anymore. I understand. Ah, these bitches love their tragic Yuri. I'm so invested too. They better all end up together. I need the scene where they all hold hands. It always has been when it comes to us, hasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it has. There's a sobering moment of understanding between them. Shiori knows they're both thinking of the same thing. Thoughts of what could have been. Justifications for the wasted days yearning for the other. Maybe in another time. Maybe in another life. Oh, the writing is so good. The writing is so good. It's so good. Oh, Shio Raven. Listen, in another time, in another life, Shiori kisses Nerissa on stage at Breaking Dimensions. And then says that she just got her nose. Oh, okay. Mass psychic damage. I need more head pats, but I can only fit one head pat on my head. Okay. Nerissa is the first to break the tension. Well, have a good rest of your day, Shiori. Shiori's shoes are fused to the cement, even as the echoing steps of Nerissa fade into a humbling silence. She didn't even look back. You too, Risa. Ow! Risa! Risa. Her message is whispered into the cold autumn air. She thinks back to those visions. How cruel it is of fate to dangle the promise of a better future for them in front of her, even when it's unattainable. Shiori practically drags herself back to the car, each step heavy and sluggish. Shiori finds Elizabeth's car before long and unceremoniously takes her seat at shotgun. Upon her entry, her eyes and ears catch on Elizabeth rolling up a newspaper and shoving it into a compartment on the driver's door. She thinks she sees Nerissa's name and photo on the wrinkled print before Elizabeth composes herself with a dramatic clearing of the throat. But she seems to fail at tempering the eagerness and the smile she throws in Shiori's direction. So, how did it go? We talked. She called me Shiori again, at least. Progress. One step at a time, investigator. I'm sure you must know that better than anyone. Reconciliation isn't the same as your typical case, you know. Hey now, I'm just sticking to what I know. I told you, I'm not very well versed in romance. Not romance. Just making up for the past. Of course, if that's what you desire. Enough about me. How was meeting your celebrity crush? Yes, flip the tables. Get the pressure off of you. Beautiful. So fair. I always say, like, if I ever want a meet and greet for Nerissa, or really any Hololive talent, I don't think I would be able to cope. You get 2 minutes, and I feel like I would just cry. I would cry, and I would stutter, and I would shake, and I would be like, I love your content. I love your music. You inspire me. Oh, I sing because of you. Oh, I want you to achieve all your dreams. Oh. That would be me. That would be me. This like little trembling 5'3" mess of emotions. Yeah, that's about the reaction I expected. I do feel quite apologetic for making her upset. I hope she doesn't think too negatively of me. Hey, it's okay. I'm sure she understands. Either way, she's sure to forgive you if we solve this case, right? You make it sound as if I have some sort of ulterior motive for this. I'm just doing what's right. Yeah, start the car. Oh, chivalrous detective. We've got one more place to check before we clock in for the day. Oh, are we going to the donut place? Oh, I would cry. I don't think I could hold myself back. I get all flustered even when I get a reply on Twitter. The ride was relatively uneventful, given that it was only such a short distance away from the empty lot. I've really had to pee, by the way, but I keep thinking the demo's probably almost over. So I don't go to pee, and then it gets worse. Also, this is H&M. One more place. No, that's too soon. That's too soon. They have to yearn and pine for like hundreds of thousands of words. Go to the bathroom, please? No, I mean, I can wait. Again, I feel like we're coming to the end of the demo, so I don't want to, like, get up and pee. I'll go when I'm done, unless I really can't wait any longer. As they pull into the parking lot, the car engine goes quiet with a click. They both stare ahead at their destination in skeptical silence. Thousands and hundreds of years. Honestly, that's how it feels. To Shiori, it looks nothing more than a typical department store. Her eyes fall upon the 2 revolving doors, acting both as an exit and an entrance. That's gotta be a safety violation. You think so? They seem to be a rising trend in New Exardia's buildings. I'm sure there's a failsafe or two. Shiori cringes and secretly hopes they won't be needing to make a visit anytime soon. One incident of York being spun into the hinges and clogging up the passage is enough to put her off of them entirely. Elizabeth laughs, a sound Shiori finds herself becoming more and more accustomed to. So, Mokoko claims this is where the donut shop and convention center should be. I'm not seeing any Mrs. Donuts out here, though. Maybe it's inside? Somehow I doubt it, but it'd be good to take a closer look just to verify. Shiori nods affirmatively. The 2 of them exit the car in unexpected unison. As they approach closer, the duo get a better view of the internal environment of the building. As expected, there's an array of consumer merchandise on display. Aisles are flooded with busybodies as each person searches the racks of the clothing that line the store. It feels familiar, like she's been shopping for a new coat here before. But with everything going on, she's not sure how much she can trust that feeling. Yep, no Mrs. Donut in sight. But this feels right. Mokoko sounded too sure, though. It could be me who has the faulty memories here. Well, this place seems to be operating as usual. If we extrapolate from that, we can tentatively assume that this place was unaffected. Tentatively. If this were the case, just what was Mokoko remembering? Shiori nods thoughtfully and shrugs, turning to face Elizabeth. It ain't much, but do you think this gives some credence to my theory? Elizabeth absentmindedly fidgets with her cane as life continues around them. Her gaze is set on the building ahead. Shiori can tell what's going through her mind. If this place happened to be affected, then how would so many here move on with their lives as if nothing was wrong? Elizabeth herself must be grappling with the idea as well. Well, I suppose it gives us enough to keep in mind at least. After everything today, I'll take that over nothing. Thank you, Spectra! Some progress is better than no progress, after all. I guess we got all that we can from this place. Would you like to head back to the office, or shall we go do some shopping? Maybe we can leave that for another day. So the door's open for another off-work hangout after all, so that they can hold hands. Well, would you look at that? It's almost dinner time. We should get going now. Let's get something for Bibu while we're at it. Elizabeth shuffles back to the car while dodging eye contact. Shiori follows after, casting one final glance at the department store before getting back into the car. When they arrive at Shiori's office, it's straight down to business. The twins mention something that had hooked itself firmly into her intuition. She'd been mulling it over the entire ride back. But before setting the investigation in the direction she'd thought of betting on, she had to be sure. Elizabeth takes a seat at the stool by Shiori's desk while she sets down Biju's reports and calls for her assistant. Beebs, I've got something I want to talk about. Hello? After a sound of surprise and a short exclamation of, "On my way!" come through the door, Biju arrives, standing smartly at attention. Yes, sir, boss. Bibu is here. How'd the meetup go? It went fine. I'll give you all the details later. You got time? For my job? I'm a good boss. I respect my team's time. It's just that there's something I wanted to discuss with you. Biju's glances hop curiously from Shiori to Elizabeth and back. I'm not in trouble, am I? On the contrary, my dear assistant. It's quite possible that your work has gotten us a bit of a head start on a lead, but it depends on a couple of factors. Shiori places a hand on the report folder and catches Elizabeth tilting her head quizzically at her. Have you got some sort of idea that you hadn't shared with me? It's just the kind of hunch that I'm honestly not confident enough about. But it would be cool if I was onto something, right? A funny smile appears on Elizabeth's face. A bit crooked, a lot familiar. Well, I'm listening. I read your reports on the stuff happening in the city, and while I met up with Nerissa, I met her bodyguards. They were a pretty adorable pair of twins, with demon dog traits, I think. And down the line with our investigation, they mentioned something that seemed a bit suspect. Just a few days ago, they met with someone they called Auntie Francie, the most recent missing person in the string of disappearances you reported on. Francesca Fairfax disappeared more than a week ago. Oh! Do you happen to know which branch of Mrs. Donut she was in charge of? Biju blinks, and puts a hand on her chin as if in thought. If I remember correctly, and yes, I know that any day now, maybe I won't, my own sleuthing pointed me toward the branch at Carter MEC. Shiori nods. Same as your report. Biju and Fuawa's recollections of these facts are aligned with each other. But reality differs. Why would two people who've never met have the same recollection of the truth, when in our reality, it isn't true at all? An inquisitive look falls upon Elizabeth's face at the line of questioning. Looks like someone's detective mode is engaged. This is what she meant. You're suggesting that Biju and Fuawa might be remembering the true reality? The original reality? When ours is changing around it? It sounds insane, doesn't it? It could change everything. I understand now why you decided to withhold discussing this with me until there was probable cause to pursue a line of thinking so. Crazy. But how did you even deal with that? I don't think there's a lot of records on reality warping stuff out there. That's what I don't know. I know it's risky to go with a theory like this, but things are unprecedented as all hell right now anyway, right? What have we got to lose? The cognitive harmony of the city? Well, we might as well go down fighting, I guess. I mean, we don't have any better ideas. Not that yours is any bad. But this is the first trail of thought that's gotten this close to providing some semblance of explanation on what's really happening here. As detectives, we really don't have anything to lose. So I'll take that as a "you've got a point, Shiori. Let's do it." Elizabeth nods. Yes, let's do it. I think it's kind of insane, but I did promise Nakama earlier, so I'd be going back on my word if I jumped ship now. But you think it could be totally cool if we cracked the case wide open, right? Reality warping and such? It would be super cool. I'm with you, boss. Then it's a plan. Unless there are any books about reality warping around, our best tool is my Shio vision, and it doesn't work for everything. This is uncharted territory, but if it's reality we're dealing with, I suggest we acquaint ourselves with what we do have. We were already planning on investigating the empty plot of land earlier as a subject of the recollective dissonance. I think we should continue on that course, except now, we do so under the context of this new reality alteration hypothesis. Shall we investigate? We shall. tomorrow. And let's write this down in case anyone gets their memories messed with. Excellent foresight. I agree. It's time to rest. Shall we adjourn this meeting? You make it sound like such a formal thing. But yeah, let's all close up shop. See you guys tomorrow then. Oh wait, I need to talk to you about something, Bibu. Bijou stops right in her tracks. She slowly turns around, shoulders hunched. Oh, I'm totally in trouble now, aren't I? Yep. A little birdie told me about something very interesting. Apparently, you hung up on a client of ours? Her assistant sighs, holding up her hands placatingly. Okay. In my defense, she didn't even let me start our company greeting before she started yelling at me. Well, technically she was yelling at you, but, you know. Potato, potato. And she was also really mean. Yeah, well, something tells me I might have deserved that. I mean, sure, if you insist, but you were busy. I know you're capable of handling yourself, but honestly, I was just too scared to bring it up to you. I've seen the way you get whenever she releases a new album, you know? Really broody and angsty. Super broody and angsty. I'm sorry, boss. I must have caused trouble for you, huh? Nah, don't worry about it, Beebs. Just make sure to tell me next time. Bijou salutes with an enthusiasm that Shiori wouldn't expect at this time of day. You got it, boss. Am I, dismissed? Sure, I'll see you tomorrow. You bet. I know, I do know about the Chase pre-sale. That's why I have a friend getting us tickets. As long as they allow us to buy enough. I don't know if there's going to be a limit on how many tickets you can buy to, like, prevent scalping. But hopefully they can buy tickets for us. Night, Bibu. The prospect of a new game plan lit a clear spark in the eyes of both Elizabeth and Bijou that shined even as they left Shiori's office for the rest of their evening. It's frightening. It's exciting. Shiori's mind rushes back to the moment the envelope from the Bloodflame Agency appeared on her desk. It's not a success yet, but they might actually be getting somewhere. All on the same day I met up with her again. The idea of a warping reality and memories changing with it. All of this emerging on the same day she met Nerissa again, on a case she began pursuing with Elizabeth. Her visions come to mind. If reality is changing, the original truth remains in some people's minds. Could her visions be... Shiori shakes her head. It's impossible. The visions and her reality are too different to reconcile. And should she find the answer about them through this case, it changes nothing. She needs to focus on the task at hand. That's right. I said I would write down what we decided on here, on the off chance our memories would change. But our notes stayed the same. In retrospect, it seemed like folly. And yet, when Shiori takes her notebook out to write a reminder on it, something is deeply amiss. Ink from an unknown source bleeds into the paper. It traces haphazard lines, and bits of it fade in and out of reality. But in moments, it begins to form something recognizable. A single message. Can you see me? That's freaky! That's so cool. What the hell? Oh, is it gonna end there? Is it gonna end there? Thank you for trying out the demo. Please look forward to more updates. Ow! Well, that was a Paramnesis novella demo. Again, if you are interested in following the development of this project, if you are on YouTube, all of the information is in the description. The link where you can download it, the link to the developer Twitter, the link to all of the staff, all the devs' Twitters, all of them. If you are on Twitch, the pinned comment is the link to where you can download the game as well as a link to the dev Twitter. You can keep up with all of the development, any updates, when the finished game comes out, all that good stuff. I loved it. I loved this. I love mysteries. I love romance. I love Yuri. I love Nerissa Ravencroft. I love Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame and Shiori Novella. I love Hololive. It's everything I love. I love visual novels. I love reading. So I'm very excited for this. I'll be watching with great interest. Everyone did an amazing job. I'm definitely going to harass you all later and ask you about it. And be like, you are amazing. It's so good. Yeah, my thoughts? I don't know. I feel like some like theory crafting here. And again, I don't know anything. I'm almost wondering if the writing in the book at the end was a Shiori of an alternate universe, maybe. And the visions, I'm assuming, are their jailbreak, maybe, like from our Hololive lore reality, like this reality. But I don't know. Apparently, Gigi and Cecilia will make appearances later too, which is exciting. More characters. The other characters will have sprite art in the future. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they're cooking. But that's all for me today, now that we're all done. I will most likely be streaming tomorrow. On the schedule, I have Deltarune. I don't know if we'll get around to playing Deltarune, because I actually haven't gone through and replayed Chapter 3. Oh, is my schedule not on screen? Wait, it should be. Why isn't it there? Hang on. I thought one second. Streaming stuff. Assets. Schedule. Okay. Why is it so big? Okay, so yeah, tomorrow I may stream Deltarune, but I haven't replayed through Chapter 3 to get the S rank on the first round. So if I haven't got caught up to where I want to be for a Deltarune stream, we'll play Civ instead and just switch the two. Like I said, Friday's stream might end up later than that because I'm going to see family, and then ASMR on Saturday. So I will see you guys. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, that was so much fun. So, let me pop on over here. We say goodbye to YouTube first. Goodbye, YouTube. Thank you so much for hanging out. Have a good night. Bye-bye, YouTube. Bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.